Boo! No goose purse this time. She's hanging up. She's asleep right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. There's so many folks here already blowing the chat up. That's what I like to see. I also made the chat bigger over here for the VOD so that people on the VOD can see easier. Hello, Whiskey. Hello, Pickle. Hello, Specs with a Z. Hello, Kelzion. Welcome in. First time chatter. It's so good to see you. It's me, Lucy. Thank you for watching the VODs, my sweet friend. Buttsbot, choosing violence as per usual. Let's see. I think that's everyone for now.
Wait, what about me?
Oh, of course, the Pidge, but that's a given. We've got Pidge back here, my lovely partner, aka Vibing with Azariah in the chat.
Look at that, look at that. Bicep wiggle.
My OG mod. We love a wiggly bicep. We love wiggly things in general. Caterpillars, the Wiggles. Actually, I don't know if I can say that. I need to look up to see if they've been canceled lately. I might have to formally retract my statement. I'm just getting everything fixed here. Thank you, Specs. I call these my cunty focals because I'm feeling pretty cunty tonight. They're my Michelle Visages. They're by far the biggest glasses that I have, and I only save them for special occasions.
No, hey, look, I can see the Wiggles getting canceled.
I can see the Wiggles getting canceled, too. I remember growing up, I grew up in the Bible Belt, the fucking buckle of the Bible Belt, and adults around me said that Teletubbies were demonic, and, had, subliminal messaging in their bellies or whatever. I don't know. Hi, Crystal! Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful time zone wherever thou may art. Got lots of new friends since the last stream. Holy shit. When I ended the last stream, I was at 348 followers. Now I'm at 364. Excuse? Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate the support. I really do. Also, let me know if the music is a little bit wonky or if you can't really hear me that well. I'm still taking feedback. I think I've got the audio figured out, but y'all let me know. I had a very good and filling dinner, and now it's pulling my eyelids down. I had a buffalo chicken wrap, low-key, this big. It was so good! Hi, Marishi! Welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate everyone being here. Before we get started, I do want to say that, first of all, I'm going to try to wiggle this desk a little less tonight with my knees, because y'all probably think I'm going up a roller coaster or something. But I have made a big leap that I've been meaning to do for literal months, and that is downloading my streams and uploading them to YouTube.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, have a seat. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I know there's a lot of folks.
Art, shakack, boom. Oh, shakack, art. Did somebody mention art?
I know there's a lot of folks who can't view them in real time for various reasons that are all valid. So hopefully me putting the VODs up will make quacks disappear, as well as mitigate some of that and make it easier for y'all to watch.
You're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like Linda Evangelista, you're a model.
And you are, Specs, and you are. Dr. Crocodile, did I say that right? Yes, I nailed it. Hello, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Oh man, I'm gonna be sighing through my fullness. And just in fucking general, because you know why you're here.
It's Wednesday.
I know why you're here. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
It's a tradition at this point.
It is a tradition at this point. And by tradition, I mean loose schedule that I've managed to keep up with for almost a month now. Not having worked a public job since 2020, I cannot stress enough how much a schedule is fucking important to me and vital and difficult. I need that structure, because if I just float aimlessly through the wind like a fucking dandelion seed and depend on my dopamine to get me through the lifetime, then I'm going to be doing a lot of sitting around. And I still do a lot of sitting around, dissociating and whatnot. Low key, that was not for the bit. I totally kind of just did. But we're back. Anyway, I just do it outside of the stream mostly. But
Thinks about dissociating.
dissociate about dissociating. Listen, I'm in an awake food coma right now, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. Also, my brain is ping pong zing zonging at trillions of miles per minute, so these are structureless. For anyone new joining us here, hi, I'm Potatum. I am the conductor of the Tater Express, and it is a hot mess, but we have a good time here, and I love this community. Y'all are so fucking funny and so authentic and so... Yes, thank you. Cheers. Hydration station. As many of you who have a drink nearby, if you're able, hydrate your bodies. So Cozy Gamer, welcome in. Yes, awaken me, please. Scuba Duck. Hi. Scuba Duck. Welcome in. So many new faces and new faces. Why did I say that, bitch? New usernames with faces attached to them somewhere, wherever you are. I'm very glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. So tonight I originally was just going to cover one thing, and I'm still going to cover it, which is an infuriating ableist article that recently came out in the Times, which is like the UK publication. We'll get to that in the second half. I got some shit to get off my chest first, because, you know, you kind of have to adjust your schedule and your talking points when you accidentally upset a large portion of the community, but like the global community. Not large portion, a substantial portion. I don't know the true numbers, but yeah, so let me just dive right in. I'm going to give you some back text, okay? When was this, Pidge? 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
Or 3 nights ago? It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Earlier this week, maybe this weekend, I don't know, we ordered from Zaxby's, which is a southeastern fried chicken place. That's good when it's good, but when it's bad, it's just sad, you know? And we have been using DoorDash pretty much ever since we met, because we met June 2020. Like, we did not know each other pre-pandemic. And for those of you who don't know, I'm immunocompromised and high risk. My immune system has been trying to yeet me into the great beyond from a very young age. And it's something that I've had to come to terms with early in my life. And I have had people accuse me of making that up because they haven't heard me talk about it before. To which I say, go fuck yourself. I don't have to talk about it. But when a pandemic happens and, you know, the disabled, immunocompromised, and high-risk communities are sequestered in their homes going on 4 years because it's not safe to exist in public anymore, you can bet your sweet patootie I'm going to talk about it, and have been, and will continue to do. That being said, PJ does the grocery shopping and PJ does the cooking. He loves cooking. I couldn't be me. I mean, I cook to survive when I have to, like before we lived together. But like, you know, we're both fucking ADHD. We both run off a spoon system, and sometimes he doesn't have the spoons to cook, and like, of course. So we also rely on Random Eric. Hi. I feel you. I'll be honest, at this point, I mask so much it's basically become my face. Listen, I'll continue with the story in a second, but let me just speak on that. I have never felt more at peace in public, like my soul and my facial muscles, than when I'm wearing my mask. My little KN95s that I wear. Because I haven't been told by a strange man to smile in the better part of half a decade. And it's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice.
It's been wonderful.
Also same, but never.
Also, like, I've been working on, like, unmasking my late discovered autism for, like, the last 2 years now, give or take. And a lot of that involves me kind of just letting my body exist how it wants to exist. If my arms want to move weird, I let them move weird. If my face wants to do weird things while I'm talking, I let it do weird things while I'm talking. And my face also does weird things when I'm like thinking, concentrating, focused, stressed. And I don't have to worry about looking like a serial killer in public anymore. Because sometimes I just rest my face muscles and it's just... This is true neutral. I'm in a fine mood, but people have asked me if I'm okay multiple times from this face. And this is one of my milder ones. I do a lot of this when I'm trying to read shit sometimes. A lot of like lip biting stuff. I don't have to worry about people seeing that because I'm protected from public opinion. You were talking about autistic masking. Well, that's twofold. Like, you know, my brain just farted. The butt spot is already clogging up the chat. I have to watch these back just to read what y'all say, because y'all say the funniest, most sincere, off the wall shit, and it's too fast for me. So I'm gonna have to already watch this one tomorrow. But yeah, back to the story. So we fucking use DoorDash. Okay? We use DoorDash. And if you're in the, if you don't like DoorDash, then get off of your lazy ass and go to the store and cook. See title of stream. Listen. I do not intend to piss anyone off tonight, and I'm just going to say this up front. But I've got to say my piece about shit, dude. I've got to say my piece. This is my page to do it. My multiple beautiful mods are here with me to kick out the trolls because we don't play that here. My page is not a democracy. It's a tatership, damn it. And I want it to fly me the fuck off of this planet. Oh my god, come on, bars. Anyway, so earlier this week we ordered DoorDash from Zaxby's. We get the food, and my food was fine. I'm remembering opening the bag, Pidge, and my food was on the bottom.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's.
And your food was on the top.
Yeah.
And the bag is usually like tied up, sealed, signed, sealed, delivered. It's ours, right? But it was like ripped and kind of crooked, and just there was a lot of like air coming through. I didn't think anything of it. I ate my food. My food was fine. I used spicy sauces, and I'm a little Sally slut for dipping sauce, okay? And it masks a lot of bullshit. So I didn't taste any bullshit on my food. PJ, however, not to tell your story for you, but just to save time, I'm just relaying it. He got like a 6-piece, and the first 2 or 3 of his tenders were fine. And then he bit into a 4th tender, and he said it turned his fucking stomach. Because, I mean, he's lived with smokers. He was in a literal traveling rock band in Florida. He knows what nicotine smells like, tastes like. He's been around it. He said it punched him in the fucking face. He, like, bit into just bitter, pungent nicotine. And he was like...
Burned my mouth.
He just said it burned his mouth.
I had to brush my teeth.
He had to brush his teeth. I didn't know you had to brush your teeth.
Oh, I couldn't get it to go. Yeah, I should have. I mean, when I say, I don't like to complain too much or anything.
You're allowed to complain about
wasn't
this.
Thinking much about going into the detailing of it, but yeah, no. I mean, so basically, I ate the food and put it away. And,
Yeah.
And then thought, well, hopefully the other pieces weren't like that.
Right.
Later,
Yes.
But then they were. So I ended up, making hot dogs after that.
Yeah.
And just like eating those, and then after all of that, because every time I kind of like licked into the grooves of my teeth, you know how you eat, how you
Yeah,
eat those.
yeah.
I kept getting that like burning, that like it was like like I had been chewing tobacco, but like I was eating, so even if I did, I wouldn't like that while I'm eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Thank you for sharing. That's just fucked up.
then I brushed the shit out of my teeth.
I hope that y'all heard that. I turned the music off so that y'all could hopefully hear him better. We're trying to remember between our 2 Swiss cheese brains to get a little cheap little mic so that he can, whoever's back here can be heard on this. So essentially, TLDR, he took a bite of his like fourth nugget, or tender rather, tasted like fucking smoke. He was horrified, had to brush his teeth, put the food in the fridge to hopefully kind of coldify some of that away, right? And later when he went to eat the rest of his meal, it tasted of nicotine very, very strongly, to the point where it was lingering in his teeth afterwards. He had to make himself a whole other meal because of it. He could not finish the meal. I came out to use the restroom in the middle of the night while he was still awake, and he told me that this was what was happening. Like, he was having a hell of a time just like getting his stomach back to normal in his mouth. He's been just like going the fuck through it. And I was so mad, but I was also so sleepy. So I was like, you know what? Let me just tweet up a draft and go back to bed. Don't sit on it too long. Don't think on it too long, or bitch, you won't be going back to sleep. So that's exactly what I did. And then today, or not today, yes, whenever I fucking posted it, who cares? Time isn't real. I read it and I was like, you know what? That sounds good to me. Send it.
Full send. Let it rip.
Thinking that maybe, I was like, realistically, if this gets anywhere, maybe it'll get a couple hundred likes. Like, it's an infuriating fucking situation. Neither one of us smoke cigarettes. We have never once had this problem before. And then when I got more clarification from Pidge, he always is the one to go out and get the food. I'm way too autistic for that shit. I clam up, I freeze up, I say weird things, I regret my choices, rinse, repeat. So he said that the passenger of the vehicle was holding the food in their lap and had a cigarette that had been smoked on but was like put out, but still, was it in their hand or in their mouth? In their mouth. It wasn't lit actively, but it was like mushed.
You know what it looks like.
It was basically like a BRB for the Siggy.
Exactly.
Siggy Azalea.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, because they delivered to other people that night.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm robing up.
You better robe up, brother. So, all right. We gave the Dasher 5 stars. It wasn't the Dasher that did it, and like, we gave him 5 stars before we even really had this problem.
Yeah.
But PJ ended up reporting it. We got a partial refund for the whole meal. So we were happy with that. But the tweet took the fuck off. And as per usual, y'all already know I fucking talk about this shit all the fucking time. Every time the community at large gets a hold of some of my shit, it's just straight up not a good time. You know? Straight up not a good time. So, had a lot of people say that what I tweeted was entitled, and I shouldn't be expected to have the world at large accommodate my needs because I'm lazy and entitled for using delivery service.
A service that exists.
So I need to get off my ass and cook and go to the store and cook, you know. So 1-800, that shit does not fly with me. Brr, exactly, Specs. Exactly, Specs. Brr, indeed. That shit does not fly with me. So when I volley the energy right back to the recipient, return to sender, at the exact same sideways angle at which I received aforementioned energy, all of a sudden, people become, what? Huh? Wait a minute. Where's all this hostility coming from?
Like you didn't fucking come in here sideways.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. It's almost like you find strange accounts with a pinch of a following and just spout off some fuck shit at the mouth and expect it to not get seen, much less responded to. Yesterday, I was just in one of those moods, you know? I had the time, so I responded to a lot of them. Same with today, but I've gotten it all out of my system on Twitter. But I just need to talk to you about some of the Olympic level brain gymnastics involved in order for these people to make the points that they were making. So, before I continue, I do not judge anyone who smokes cigarettes. Period. I don't shame anyone who smokes cigarettes. Period. I do, however, judge anyone for any lack of courtesy or awareness of their surroundings or other people while they are doing something that can negatively impact other people. Hot take alert, get your fucking ointment, right? So, I have a lot of friends and loved ones who smoke cigarettes. I don't feel any type of way about that whatsoever with any of them. I, myself, smoke marijuana legally. It's legal in my state. Don't come for me. Every day. It is a form of medication for me, along with my other medication that I'm taking. It provides a structure to my mind that I otherwise would not have. Even though my brain is made of Swiss cheese and a lot of shit falls out, sometimes there's a structure behind it. Sometimes it's extremely loosely structured, okay? Let a bitch live, okay? I don't walk into the middle of a restaurant and take a fat bong rip and then blow it all over your fucking tenderloin.
Right.
Why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck would I do that?
People working in restaurants, they'll go outside.
Exactly.
They go out of the kitchen.
Listen, I've worked in restaurants. Plural, multiple, for years.
Stressful.
Almost everyone there fucking smokes cigarettes because it's one of the most stressful fucking jobs. And if it's a job that you have to put fucking food on the table and a cigarette helps take the fucking edge off and get you through the shift, go fucking take your smoke break because you deserve to calm down. You deserve to have that moment of like reset, whatever that might mean for you. I truly do not judge people who smoke cigarettes. I didn't make that abundantly clear in my original tweet. I should have. I really should have. But nuance is fucking hard in general. It's even harder on an app with character limits. And sometimes I don't have the spoons that it would take to make all of the footnotes and addendums. But sometimes I feel the need to do that proactively so that I don't get such degree of backlash. But listen, there have been plenty of times where I have proactively done that. And people, it doesn't stop it from happening. Like, I can be plain A through Z, alpha through zeta as possible, and there will always be someone out there who explicitly takes me in bad faith, and there's nothing I can do about that. If I sat around engaging with every bad faith actor that enters my life in some capacity, that would be quite literally all I ever did. But occasionally I make exceptions. And whenever somebody calls me entitled and lazy for using a common delivery service, whether I'm fucking disabled or not, go fuck yourself. Quickly. You know? But today I had people approach me in good faith, talking to me about what they wished I would elaborate on. And I'm always more than happy to take the time to do so for people who in good faith want to have that conversation with me. Who aren't trying to flash like, gotcha, bitch! You know? I spent yesterday calling out ableist people. And I, myself, yesterday, was unintentionally ableist in one of my posts. Not about the cigarettes, but about another thing. And I referred to someone's viewpoint about a topic, the fucking article that we're going to cover later, right? This fucking bitch. I'll tell you her name later. It's from a very incomplete and one-sided, privileged point of view and perspective. But I made the poor choice of describing that as myopic. And for those of you who don't know, that's essentially the fancy term for nearsightedness. Literally me. I have myopia in both of my eyeballs. And I cannot drive or walk downstairs or do much of fucking anything without my glasses. I am objectively myopic as fuck. Objectively. My prescription's like 2,800 or some shit like that. Like, for real, for real. But, I don't have, I'm not going to pull up my phone to look at it because I'll just get sucked into a scroll vortex. But I believe her last name is Kavanaugh. Dr. Amy Kavanaugh. I follow her on Twitter. She is an activist. She is blind. She talks a lot about disability. I really appreciate her work. I've been following her for a while, actually. She commented on my post, and entirely in good faith, entirely directly and plainly, but also with compassion and understanding and just being plain about it, told me that that language was harmful from a perspective that I previously did not entertain, did not even it's just something that I never previously considered it. And I was literally in bed when I saw this, and I was like, well, I'm not going to wait all night and let this sit here. So I, posted a response to it as quickly as I saw it. Because I didn't mean to use harmful language, but I used harmful language. And who am I to double down and be like, well, this is what I meant. You're being fucking tone policey. Listen, if the language that you use is objectively harmful, objectively triggering, objectively hurtful to a community or a portion of people, and a member of said community or a member of said portion of people approaches you and lets you know, that is not your cue to double the fuck down. That's not your cue to batten down the hatches and start going to war. And I know that I never want to fucking intentionally or otherwise, obviously, say harmful shit like that hurts a group of people that I previously didn't think of due to my own privileges in my own life of, not being so, visually impaired to that degree where it would be in the forefront of my mind. Even though I do have myopia, it doesn't mean that I can just go around fucking slinging fucking harmful language at anybody.
Yeah, right.
So I took the time to really take that accountability to the best of my ability at fucking, 3 a.m. I don't remember what time it was, but I really wiped my crusties out and turned my brain back on. And I was like, okay, let's really think this through really, really carefully, because I don't want to come across as double downy or combative or defensive, because that's not my place. I fucked up. I made a mistake. So I, to the best of my ability, owned up to that mistake. And Dr. Amy Kavanaugh was very kind and receiving. She received that really well and responded to me more. And I'm really thankful that she took the time to educate me on that. She didn't have to. She shouldn't have to. And instead of me deleting my tweet with that word in it, I am leaving it up because I want people to see what Dr. Amy Kavanaugh was talking about. I don't want to appear like I'm hiding anything, because I'm not. And I'm leaving our interaction up to hopefully If you actually give a fuck about what you're trying to do in the world, it's not that hard to own up to your shit, okay? If I can do it at 3 a.m. with crusties in my eyes, if I can turn my brain back on and do it, then why is it when I tell people that something is ableist, it's hellfire and brimstone? Like, it was just such a jarring juxtaposition. And it doesn't have to fucking be that way. Now, for a while in my early stages of this advocacy that I've been doing, I really wanted to make it a point to clarify as much as I possibly could and explain as much as I possibly could at all times. But that was taking absolutely everything out of me. Everything out of me. And I had to sort of adjust the dial to my comfortability on what I wanted to say and what I wanted to save for good faith actors who come into my comments asking me for clarification. If anybody comes at you sideways about something, you don't owe them shit. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your energy. You don't. I don't. Truly. But bitch, sometimes I have to make time. I have to. Because there's a unique flavor that some of these comments have when I can kind of tell that it's been a while since they've been told to shut the hell up. You know? And I don't tell people to shut the fuck up who come at me with actual good faith and valuable information and reasons why this is whatever thing is a thing. I save this response for people who call me names, who assume things about me, who make fun of me, who are just cock twats all around. So I had to shut a lot of that shit down today. A lot of it. But I've posted about it so fucking much today. It's everywhere. And I'm just, my brain hurts and I'm tired. But one of the last things I posted about it was, you know, a snarky little petty little cunty thing. Because I was feeling snarky and petty and cunty. And sometimes that feeling with the character limit doesn't always mesh. And, you know, one of my mutuals came into the replies and brought up an excellent point that I want to expand on a little bit here, where there's no character limit and my mouth can just do mouth things, like speaking. Get your fucking head out of the gutter. But she told me about... You know, she told me about the fact that a lot of people smoke cigarettes who need that sensory seeking feeling, who need that to stim, to, you know, that's their form of stimming. And it also is an unbelievably difficult addiction. And it reminded me of, well, all of the cigarette talk reminded me of the time in 10th grade that I tried to take up smoking cigarettes. And I've never shared the story online at all. Jess, hi! Welcome in, my lovely friend. I'm so glad you're here. Bean, hi! Stoptober has not been good to me. I'm so sorry. But I'm so proud of you. And even if you completely abandon Stoptober and nothing changes, I'm still fucking proud of you. I truly do not give a fuck if you smoke cigarettes. If you blow it on my meal, however, I'm going to have some shit to say. If you stand in public doorways and people have to walk through your nicotine breath just to get through, I'm going to have something to say. If you're smoking in a no smoking area and there's no way out and I have to walk through that fucking area, I'm going to feel some type of way about it. Just be considerate. And like the people who are considerate, by and large, today knew that I wasn't talking about them. And I never intended to offend anyone. Let me be clear. I don't wake up in the morning wringing my hands, maniacally cackling, saying, "Who can I piss off today?" I don't fucking do that. I just try to share shit from my perspective and my point of view. And sometimes people don't like that. I've had to come to terms with that. And I respond or don't respond accordingly. But I addressed it on Twitter multiple times, but it does bear repeating. I'm not making light of nicotine addiction, of tobacco addiction. Not just smoking cigarettes. Vaping, chewing tobacco, any sort of smoking related habit or addiction or tendency. I don't take that shit lightly at all. Both of my paternal grandparents died of lung cancer, so I never got to meet them. So when I was little, I sort of hated cigarettes because I was like, it took my grandparents away. I never got to meet them. But like, as I grew up, I got a better perspective on it. But back to the story about in 10th grade. So I don't know why. I guess my undiscovered dopamine deficient brain just caved into this intrusive thought that got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, I think I want to start smoking cigarettes. So I went to the fucking gas station after school and bought a pack of, I don't know, Camels. I don't remember. I don't know smoke brands. Marlboro, Camel, Pall Mall, Virginia Slim, Winston. I got nothing. Thank you. Yes, I did say Camel. Paige was like, Camel. Camel.
No, Camel knows the secrets.
Frickin' Camel. All right, so I bought the fucking pack of cigarettes and I lit one in the car, had my window rolled down in the parking lot, and I was like, God damn, this hurts. And I coughed so hard that I started drooling, and then I started getting a little bit dizzy. And I don't know if that was from the nicotine or from the coughing until you drool, but things were happening. So once I recovered from that, I drove into town to go fucking window shop and like try on clothes. That used to be one of my things. Like after school, I'd go to the mall and fucking try free samples of perfume and fucking try on clothes and, you know, quelling my boredom in a small Appalachian town with hardly any fucking thing else to do. So I went to Old Navy. I tried to smoke one on the way there. And like, I don't see how people do it. I don't see how you smoke in a car going down the road and not burn yourself with speckles of ash like constantly, because I could not do it. I was only going like 35 and it kept like pinging back on my arm, and I was like, man, this cigarette's trying to fucking kill me right now. Fuck this. So I put it out, put it back in the pack, and I said, I am not doing this. Like, I'm not doing this. I think I smoked the first one all the way in the parking lot, if I remember. I think I tried 2 total. So, okay. I'm not proud of this. I was like 14 or 15 years old. Doesn't make it right. Not proud of it, but it's the fucking truth. All right? So I went to Old Navy. That's not the part I'm not proud of. Hi, my name's Tatum, and I used to shop at Old Navy. And I went to try on clothes, and I had the pack in my purse, and I left the pack in the dressing room underneath the bench in the room. Because I know for a fucking fact that if I brought that shit home, I would be skinned alive twice, okay? Like, bringing them home was not an option. Throwing them away in a trash can at home was not an option. I don't know why I chose an Old Navy dressing room to leave them in. I'm very sorry that I did that. I should not have done that. I apologize to the Old Navy associate who had to clean up that room and saw that there was a fucking pack of cigarettes in there. And
hopefully they smoked and they were like, fuck yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. If I found a halfly used something that I use a lot, I don't think I would partake in that thing. I would have too many questions.
Depends on how messed up that person is.
Maybe they thought that it fell out of a bag or something. But there was one that was like 2/3 or like a third of the way smoked in there, like mashed up, kind of crooked, because I was like, fuck this. But yeah, I left it in the dressing room, okay? I'm very sorry. I obviously never smoked cigarettes again. Never did that again. But for the next almost week or so, I found my mind wanting a cigarette. And I was just thinking of the feeling of just the inhale, exhale. I had never smoked weed before at that point. It would be a handful of years before I would discover that magical wonder. But I was like, holy shit. Like, I want a cigarette right now. The thing that burned me in my throat, lungs, and on my body.
The thing that made me feel terrible.
The thing that made me feel terrible and made me dizzy and made me drool, and like, it kind of blew my mind how much my body and my nervous system was like, bitch, you need to do that again. You need another pack. Get the lights this time. I think I might have gotten Marlboro Red. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But, okay.
That might have been the problem too.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
Like a thick, heavy cigarette.
Yeah, like if you had started with something that was like smoother,
Yeah.
easier to go down, you know, like
Cheers.
Because the Marlboro Reds are like, I think I smoked, because I smoked cigarettes for a little bit as well. I think I smoked the Marlboro Black Pack, and I don't know if that's like worse.
The Marlboro Black Pack.
Yeah, that one seemed to be fine for me. Like it didn't kick my ass.
The snack that smiles back.
Marlboro.
Ugh.
Yeah, menthol. I can't. Smoke
Menthol.
those.
Yeah, those are rough. Those are rough. But so that's the only time I tried to take up smoking. But in my my like mid-20s, in my previous relationship, he smoked those what are they called? They're not cigarettes, but they are. But
Cigarillas?
no, not cigarilla. Well, maybe. What's that called? Black and mild?
Black and mild.
Yes, like the brown paper ones
Yeah.
that have like flavors. Yeah, he smoked those, and they smelled different to me than cigarettes. They still,
smell nice.
yeah, they smelled. It was a lot more.
Floral.
I don't want to say pleasant. I'll say less unpleasant to be around. And bitch, he dragged my ass to the pub 3 days a week. And I get it. Why there's pretzels and peanuts, or there used to be. At the pub, you just fucking cram them into your mouth. I get it, because my brain starts craving sensory-seeking things like I need something, a straw, something. So that turned into me trying his Black and Mild. That turned into me finishing one that was like halfway done. That turned into me asking him for whole ones. And that turned into me smoking like 2 or 3 at the pub every time we went. And that happened relatively fast over the course of like a handful of months, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, 4 or 5 months. And then like one morning on like a Tuesday at 10 a.m., I was like, I need a Black and Mild right fucking now in my head. And I was still laying in bed. And my brain sort of had the thought for me. And I was like, oh, okay, hold on. Hold on. You don't have a whiskey ginger in your hand right now. It's not 10:30 on a Friday night. Why do you want this right now? And then my other self was like, bitch, you know why you want this right now. It's because they're addictive. And then my future self is like, bitch, you have ADHD and you are extremely deficient in dopamine, and you need to have sensory-seeking activities in your life, whether that be cigarettes, drinking, sex, video games, food, fucking candy, like anything, bitch.
That was the mints.
Huh?
The mints.
The mints. The one guitar guy! Welcome in! I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful time zone wherever you may art, buddy. I butchered it that time.
You know,
What were you saying about the mint?
The mints. You liked the mints.
Oh God. All right.
We met.
Okay. Yes.
So,
In the spirit of talking about addictive substances and smoking and whatnot, I do need to share my previous addiction with Lifesaver Window Mints. But I talked myself out of the Black and Milds, and it was hard for me to quit cold turkey. But I don't want to say fortunately for me, because there was nothing fortunate about me dating that scumbag fuckface for, you know, a little over 2 years. But I told him that I wanted to quit. I told him that I wanted one at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I don't want that because, like, I'm a singer. I don't want to fuck my voice up. I don't want to fuck my lungs up. Hello, 31-year-old Tatum with asthma and fucking smokes weed every day and lost her voice for 3 months back in the summer and just got it back. Okay, let me read this really quick. Guitar guy. Do you think that Twitch paired with OBS or streaming software should allow for viewers to personally toggle each individual auditory aspect of the stream for their personal viewing? Sort of like how in some video games you can pick what to turn down and up. Holy shit!
yeah, that would be really great. You kidding me?
Yes! Hi, Nugget! Guitar guy. That is such a fucking... Yes! Whiskey nailed it. Genius idea. Because sometimes the user, me, doesn't know that the music's way too loud. And as a viewer, that can be really frustrating. So, you know, whether it's too loud or not, if you don't feel like listening to music or you would rather just listen to the speaker, or if the speaker's too loud, you should be able to toggle. I wish that was a thing, guitar guy. We should all collectively brainstorm and figure that out and then fucking get rich. I don't know. Is that how capitalism works?
Sell it to OBS.
So, yeah. So, my ex... He helped me quit because he just, I mean, he was a fucking asshole about it, but he would, you know, rudely and meanly deny them to me. And, you know, that got me to stop. So, whatever. Yeah, I'm not giving him a crumb of kudos, though. So I quit smoking those all by myself. But for years, y'all, I'm about to be so serious right now. Like I haven't been already. For like... God damn, like fucking 6 years straight. I was addicted to these. And I'm gonna fucking pull them up.
Yeah, because you've seen them.
I know you've seen them. I know you've seen them.
Before. Walking out the door.
Hello, old friend. Oh!
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I could put you in my mouth. And it's been a while since I could crunch you. Oh, yeah. Party size. That's my shit. So, hey, I can smell this Google search result. So these are wintergreen flavored chalky ass hard mints by Lifesavers. I hope they don't see this and sponsor me, because I'm not about to fall down that rabbit hole again. So this, okay, that's so funny. I was addicted to these for 6 years, and when I say addicted, y'all might think I had what, 10, 15 a day. That's fucking adorable, bitch. That's tee-hee-oo-woo precious. When I tell you, I would go through, this is it, the 50-ounce bag. It was like fucking $10 or $11. I'm turning the music off for this one. I would go through one of these bags every 6 to 7 days. I was eating 60, 70 mints a day.
Minty fresh mouth.
Minty fresh. Minty fresh. The mint was strong with this one. Now listen, my autistic ass, before I even knew I was autistic, had a system, had very strong preferences. So if you get the fucking little fiddly $3 bag down at the fucking corner market, packed in that thin plastic.
Hey, Stinky!
Hey, Stinky! Is something that no one ever said to me because I smelled like these all the fucking time. But the ones in the thin plastic bag, those mints, those were weak sauce. They had hardly any flavor at all because all the air escaped. The thick 50-ounce party bag,
Those things were hefty.
it was like, I don't even know how to explain the bag.
It smelled like.
It was like foil or something. It was
Yeah.
thick, impenetrable, like industrial. And when you opened that bag, the smell would knock you off of your feet. It would knock you out of your body, Doctor Strange style. And that's what I needed. And I ate them. They made my eyes water. They made my nose burn. They made my teeth hurt. I can't believe I still have teeth. Because I wasn't sucking them leisurely. I was chomping them the fuck down. Not like this. I mean, I was with my teeth for like 6 fucking years. Into the beginning of my relationship with Pidge. He's the one that brought it up because I forgot about him because I don't like to think about him anymore because it makes me sad. Pickle, I'm telling you right now, if Lifesavers comes out with a Winto mint perfume, I'm buying the largest bottle. I won't drink it, but I will be tempted to spritz some on my tongue, but I won't do that. I actually did that on a dare one time in 7th grade. I do not recommend it. Body spray is for the body, not the mouth, okay? But holy shit.
Butthole.
I can't believe I forgot about those. They used to be all I thought about. These were like the thing that I was addicted to the most in this lifetime. More than weed. I do smoke every day, but when I'm out of it, I'm out of it. And I can't smoke even as much as I used to. I used to, okay. I used to suck. Oh, is there a cat?
Here, let's do a proper.
Oop. Yep, we're about to do some cat intros here.
Yeah, we got a lot of new people.
We got a lot of new peeps, and you need to see some kitties. Come over here. Come over to the other side. Yeah. This is our baby. One of them. She's got a pink belly.
This is Baba.
I never know which side.
She does not trust being held recently.
She's not a fan of being held in general like that. She likes to be held like a baby, but only sometimes. Oh, she's trying to GTFO. So that's our baby girl. She's our oldest. That's Floyb. F-L-E-R-B. Flurb. She's 10. She's Quaspy. She's a little Quaspy queen. Do you know what that means? And then we've got a Bonnie. This way.
This way. This is Bonnie.
He got a little scratcher right there because he's been digging at his ear. Bless him.
Him's a sweet boy.
But him's so sweet and so happy. His name was Picasso when I got him. But I learned a couple of years after the fact, too late, that Picasso was a, abusive piece of shit. So I changed his legal government name to Picky, like the adjective. And he is. He is. And then Mr. is upstairs. He's our youngest. And he's upstairs in his room right now, hanging, in the window, chilling, smelling the breeze. Because he did not pass the vibe check down here before the stream.
I'll give him a chance to come and say hi.
He had the Jumbo Zoomies Extreme, but Pidge is going to go get him. Those mints. Damn. I wish I could have, if I could have the money back that I've used on mints, I could buy a car. Like one of those little toy cars. Here comes a Minka. Yes, Specs, taste the goodness of the biscuit. Is that a Mister? Bring him this way. Hi, Mister. Oh, you little gargoyle. Look at his feet. Look at his little white toesies.
Look at this boy.
Like picky, like P-I-C-K-Y.
Yes.
Like choosy, selective, picky. Hi, Mister. You can hang. You look like you've been napping.
Yeah,
I think he'll pass the kitty vibe check now.
He'll be good. Yeah,
He'll be good.
He wants to sit with you. Or maybe he'll come sit with me.
Thank you, Doc Croc. Can I call you that? It's cool if I can't. It's cool if you don't like that. I try to make people's names shorter on here, abbreviate them somehow. But I totally love Dr. Crocodile as well. So yeah, I'm sorry to anyone in this stream, now or later, who was offended by anything I've said on Twitter over the past few days, or the past couple of days, like yesterday and today, about the cigarettes. I truly and sincerely do not judge people for smoking. I do judge people, smokers or not, on their lack of courtesy. But I do understand and will, in the future, make it a priority to make that clarification early, to make that nuance early. I will say, just full fucking disclosure, because I've had a lot of conflicting thoughts about this. A part of me was really frustrated. And a part of my brain, a part of me wanted to be like, I shouldn't have to fucking do that. But that's unrealistic because I can't predict how people will read what I write. I can't predict how it will be interpreted. And if me taking an extra minute or two to flesh out a fucking nuanced tweet in 250 or less, whatever the fucking character limit is, then it's worth it because I don't want to hurt people's feelings who, you know, nobody wants their feelings hurt, but like he was just scrolling through Twitter and saw that and was like, damn, like I never want to hurt people's feelings like that. Now, if you come in sideways on some bullshit, I'm just going to return that energy back to you. And if you don't like how that feels, then maybe you should have just skipped step one so you wouldn't be having this conversation. But I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people who actually do try their best to be considerate when they smoke, and they're considerate about who they smoke around and where they smoke. And I'm sorry if I lumped you in with the inconsiderate assholes that have come at me sideways today. That's not fair to y'all. It's really not. And the amount of people in my life that I know who smoke are considerate. I mean, I have met a lot of people who are inconsiderate, but that doesn't mean that considerate people don't exist. So I'm sorry for lumping y'all in with those jerkwads. It has nothing to do with the fact that they smoke. It has everything to do with the fact that they're just an asshole. Asshole. But I'll just stick with my original tweet. No one wants their food to taste like a Marlboro Red, okay? And if you do, that's great. I don't.
Yeah.
And neither does Pidge. Jesus.
And I feel like everybody here in the chat tonight pretty much agrees.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad we're all pretty much on the same page. And if we're not, I don't know about it because no one's chatting about it. So, great. Wonderful.
Let's keep it under the rug then.
I've said my piece about it on Twitter, and I told myself this stream will be the piece that I say on it. I don't judge you if you smoke weed. Hello, I am one of you. I don't judge people who deal with drug addiction. I understand how fucking hard it is to exist on this planet. I understand the need to rely on a substance in order to keep yourself the fuck alive. I was like that with alcohol really, really bad in college. My stomach, like I said earlier, earlier in the last stream, drew a line in the sand for me. So I don't drink much anymore at all. But I've had my vices through my life. I still have my vices. I understand. And I'm not making lightly of your struggle with it if you're trying to quit or, you know, trying to cut back, or even if you're not trying to cut back, I don't care. I mean, just, you know, try to be considerate of where you do it is all I ask. Because it's not just a preference. Like, Cigarette smoke has always fucked with me, but now that I have asthma, I haven't been around cigarette smoke, but I can just straight up tell I'm not going to have a good time. Because a few weeks ago when we had to rearrange our living room to build this L desk that I'm streaming atop of right now, there was a lot of dust and stuff, and I was fucked up for 2 days. Coughing, couldn't breathe, drinking my inhaler, essentially. Like, it's just that easy to trigger it these days, and it never used to be like that before. So I can only imagine what it's like with someone with worse asthma than me being around cigarettes. Asthma attacks can kill people. So, like, it's not just a preferential thing. You know, like caffeine is a drug, so is nicotine. And, you know, people who don't partake personally in their life shouldn't be mandatorily subjected to nicotine in public without their consent. And that's from a no judgment place. And the last tweet that I said about it tonight, and I will end it here, end this topic here. Multiple things can be true at once. Multiple things are true at once. Addiction is no joke, no laughing matter, not easy. It kills people. It ruins people's lives. It's very, very hard to overcome. It's extremely stigmatized, extremely misunderstood. And today I was brought to the realization by a friend that I contributed to that stigma by lumping in people who are considerate with those who aren't. And just, you know, it's all a just jumbly bumbly mess. And I didn't intend to do that. Smoking a cigarette in public around other people and around their belongings and around their food affects those people, affects those belongings, and affects those food. Affects those food.
You know those food.
And you can take that to the bank. It's just true. And that's not me saying it from a judgmental point of view. I'm just stating things that are true. Dr. Seuss up in this bitch.
Fucking barsing it up.
I know, I can't help it. Multiple things can be true at once. So yeah, I'm leaving it there. I kind of said my most rageful of peace with Pidge. And I was like, I need to say this for the stream, but I can't. It's like bursting out of me.
Save it for the cameras, doll.
Ugh. Lord have mercy. Like, smokers of cigarette kind, weed kind, if you smoke, you're welcome here. Literally, before every break, I say, smoke them if you got them. Like,
That includes anything smokable.
anything smokable.
Go light off a fucking firecracker outside.
Yeah. Smoke you a turkey real quick.
Yeah.
Smoke you a sausage.
Yeah, have a ham hock.
Have a ham hock?
Yeah. They're smoked.
Why?
It's fucking kiss they smoked.
Pork rind? No.
No. Right. Rehydrate.
One more, you know, infuriating perpetual thing that I'm accosted with. This is the last topic I'll talk about before we get to the article, because we're approaching the end of the first half of the stream. There's always one in every group. You know? How much weed do I smoke a day? It depends. It depends on how bad my asthma is kicking my ass per day. I know. Listen, hey. Those of you, hey, hear me out. I am addicted to the medicinal properties and the benefits that I personally receive from weed. I am a crabapple on a pike. Plus, I get a fucking 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 migraine if I go like a week without weed. It's hard. And I developed asthma this summer, and I had to say goodbye to dabbing concentrate. And I used to dab concentrate every day. That was like the deepest in THC consumption that I've ever gone is doing dabs. And I used to do, like, when it was in my heaviest use, I would do like 6 or 7 dabs per day. Like tiny just on the end of the little needle. And if you don't know what dab is, it's THC concentrate, and it comes in many forms. It comes in like a sort of waxy form. It comes in kind of like a hard crystallized form that like flakes off. And it's just like a strong strain of flower, like a really strong strain of actual cannabis flower will be about, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, 20 to 25% THC.
It could be a little bit more.
A little bit more than that.
Could be like 70.
Well, that's the concentrate. Concentrate is like 70 to 80% THC.
Well, the concentrate was in like the 90s.
Oh, it depends on the grade that you get, right? What I'm saying is there's a substantial difference in the concentration of THC between flower and wax. So that was when I was in at my heaviest. After I developed asthma this summer, I don't know if I have ever had COVID. I've never tested positive for COVID, but that definitely doesn't mean that I haven't had it. And a lot of people think that that's how it works. No, 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 no. I love that 45 was like, hey, there won't be any COVID if we don't do tests. And all the, all the progressives and everyone was like, fuck you, that's ridiculous and reckless. And now that's exactly what 46 is doing. Anyway. I don't remember what I was talking about, but we're moving on. Hi, Sylvia. Oh, asthma.
Yes.
Sometimes it does trigger my asthma. I don't dab anymore. I developed asthma this summer because of all the wildfire smoke that came from Canada. It came all the way down the fucking eastern seaboard and swept across the U.S. And I'm all the way down in Virginia. I'm like 9-10 hours away from Canada. So I cannot imagine how impossible it was to breathe up there and live up there this summer. My friend T, who I did the podcast with last week, that I forgot to plug at the top of the stream, but I'll plug it here in a minute, lives in Philly. And I remember she posted a TikTok of her walking through fucking Philly, and it was like a dust bowl. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you, and that was wildfire smoke. So we were just getting the vestiges of that, and I could not breathe for a day and a half, and my throat was closing up, and I was taking the days one breath at a time. I was awake for almost a week straight with 1 to 3 hour naps once or twice a day, scattered sporadically throughout. And that was so fucking terrifying. And I was like, I don't want to have to go to the fucking doctor because no one masks anymore and I'm going to get even fucking sicker. So I managed to Google my symptoms without scaring myself or drafting my final will and testament. And it was like I kept getting intermittent asthma over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. I kept getting asthma can be triggered by wildfire smoke, pollutants, smoking, etc. So I needed an inhaler. Like, I knew I needed one because I could feel my throat closing up. And for those of you who don't actually know what asthma is, which I fucking didn't know what it actually was until I looked it up. It's when, I don't know the fucking process and all the names. I'm just telling you what physically happens. Your throat, all the way up through here, all the tissue on the inside will become inflamed, and the walls will cave in on your airway, and it will feel difficult to take a breath. You'll start wheezing and whistling, and your body produces this clear, like phlegm, like I jokingly call it ectoplasm, to try to, I don't know, kind of like how your body sweats to cool you down. Your body does ectoplasm to help you breathe. I don't know, but it doesn't fucking help. But an inhaler is what's known as a vasodilator. And it dilates the, what are they called? Not arteries. Capillaries. Thank you, brain. Jesus. Glad that you could join us. It dilates your vascular system and allows, it like treats the swelling. And after after going on 48 hours of taking it one shallow breath at a time, I bought an over-the-counter inhaler at Target, car side pickup, thank you. And I took 2 fat puffs in the parking lot, and I broke down into tears. I had to follow. It was so good. I had to follow the instructions. You know, you take a puff, you hold it in as long as you possibly can, and then you let it go. Like in the movies on TV, they kind of boof it, right? Like Carl Weezer, he's like they really. That's like ableist and fucked up, actually, to think about the way they portray asthma, because it's very like theatrical and like wheezy. But like the reality of asthma attacks are that dire and all that are that scary. But really, you gotta hold it in, let it do its thing, give it a minute or two. If it doesn't work, hit it again. I cried all the way home. I sang along to the music all the way home. I couldn't even say 2 or 3 words without breathing before. So I was like, shit, how long have I been needing one of these? Because when I was doing the dabs, every once in a while one would hit me extra sideways, and it would take me 45 minutes to catch my breath. And I know it was extremely to my detriment. Just like I heard from a lot of smoker friends today that are like, yeah, dude, I know it's to my detriment. I wish I could do more. I wish it was easier for me to just not, but I can't. That was me with the dabs. I couldn't stop until I had to stop, because my body was just going to stop breathing. And after that whole thing happened with the wildfire smoke, I was like, my breath is way too, and my sleep is way too important. It is infinitely more important than taking a fucking dab and drooling on myself for 45 minutes trying to fucking breathe. So I haven't taken a dab since fucking May or so. It's been a while. I've been using this since like late May. But unfortunately, about 2 weeks after that, my voice left the chat completely. And for those of you who don't know, I am classically trained in voice. I have a degree in opera performance, a degree that I got in Southern Appalachia. I was really setting myself up for success there. But I trained vocally for 5 years as an operatic soprano. I've been singing my whole life. I love singing everything. Opera is very much a use it or lose it thing. I could get back into it again, maybe like choral music, but opera, bro. I think my lungs are too crispy. I think my opera days are behind me as far as, you know, churning out a 3.5 long fucking Verdi roll. You know what I mean? But I lost my voice. My range went from 3.1 or 3.2 octaves, which is like ba 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 ba, you know, however many you can do that, to less than 1 octave. My voice was in the basement. It was so raspy, so painful. And it was like that for almost 3 months. And for those 3 months, I felt like a bird that couldn't fly anymore. Because I couldn't do any of my vocal stimming, none of my songs, my silly little songs I sing to the cats. I couldn't sing the songs out loud that were stuck in my head. I couldn't sing along to music in the car. And it got to the point, like at that fucking 3-month mark, where I would listen to my Spotify on shuffle, and whenever a song came on that I usually loved to belt out and sing in the car, it would break my heart. And I would have to skip it. Because I can't listen to it because I want to sing it too bad. And I can't sing. I don't want to torture myself. But ever so fucking slowly, my voice started coming back. And now it's like at like 80 to 85% capacity.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
And I didn't want to have to go to an ear, nose, throat and get raw dog coughed on by an ear, nose, throat doctor with no mask. So I'm super fucking glad that my voice got its shit together on its own. My middle range came and my lower range came back stronger than it was when my voice left. My upper register, my belting range, and my head voice range is still a little splotchy. There's not a whole lot of breath support to get those top notes like I used to be able to just. But I'm working on it whenever I can. I don't really sing in the house during the day because I'm a loud bitch and we have different sleep schedules and I'm not trying to wake him up. But I sing in the car. I try to work my voice. And I'm getting it back. Okay? Getting it back.
Well, you can sing.
Bruh.
I do. And I do sing here a lot. But, like, I'm not going to be belting fucking Celine in the kitchen, you know?
You can try.
I could try.
Yeah.
You would come down and be like, who's dying right now?
No.
Because my bell is still, like, I honk like a goose. And it's hilarious. Like, the thing about studying voice is you gotta fucking get over your fear of cracking and get over your fear of honking like a goose and choking on your spit, because you're gonna make some crazy fucking noises. Like the vocal exercises you have to do, the breathing exercises and shit, the facial exercises. Like, you have to do the craziest shit. So I don't care that my voice cracks as an embarrassment thing. I care because, like, I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to push it past its limit because I just got it back. I ain't trying to lose it again, but I'm very content where it's at. That was a hell of a sidebar tangent, but hey, we have no structure here. Who cares? Let's get back to the thing I was going to talk about. It's always the dude bros that poured their entire life savings into crypto and snapback hats that come at me the most sideways, bringing up things that I'm not even talking about. And it's usually, you know, for those of you who don't know, I am vehemently a staunch anti-capitalist. And on its face, some people don't know what that means. Some people think that means that I don't participate in capitalism. Some people think that means that I don't spend money. Some people think that means that I can live without money. Bitch, I wish I fucking could. I hate money. Money sucks. Money is the root of all this bullshit. I mean, you know, money, ableism, and white supremacy. But it's all fucking connected, and I talk about it in various capacities on various platforms all the fucking time, including on the podcast that I need to still plug. I'll do that before we go BRB. But I have that in my bio because I frankly want people to know what they're getting the fuck into when they follow me. I put it all out there in alliteration form. A little Sally Slut for alliteration. Everything in my bio starts with the letter A, and I love it. I love it. But, you know, somebody will come into my little comment skis and they'll be like, that's funny that you say you're an anti-capitalist when you're tweeting from an iPhone, or when you are selling merch, or when you're Chadley! Stop! Stop!
Stop.
Enough!
While you're leaving the wall.
Do you know how dumb you sound? And why are you dumping your dumb ass on my doorstep for me to have to deal with? Take your diarrhea scented takes elsewhere, sir. Quickly.
Why? 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 Why?
Sylvia, I have the button just for that bitch. Or is it? I see that shit and think, oh shit, here we go again.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Someone, please tell the Chadley Bretsky Broskis that there's a difference between what commerce is and what commerce means, and what capitalism is and what capitalism means. I'm anti-exploitation by way of capitalism. I'm anti the means of production being separated from the worker. Have you not watched Bo Burnham's Inside? Sacco did a whole bit about this.
We can all learn a little bit from Sacco.
We can all learn how the world works from Sacco. The global network of capital essentially functions to separate the worker from the means of production, and the FBI killed Martin Luther King.
That's true.
I don't want to get copyrighted. Go watch it. It's on Netflix.
You won't get copyrighted. You did a cover. That's you doing doing a cover.
That's me doing a cover for educational purposes only. There, I'm covering all my bases. Hot take. You sell hours of your life to make money because we need it. This green paper, these coins, these pixels on screens that we all collectively decide has value, and we're all playing along for some fucking reason. And you do what it takes to make that money for your family, and then Mr. Big Company just comes in and takes a big portion of it, and you get scraps. Yeah, I'm against that. I believe that workers should own the means of production. I believe that they should fucking keep the money that they make. I don't know. Do I have all the answers? We get Chadley Broskies in the comments all the time being like, well, what do you propose then? Quickly. I don't know. I don't know what the magical fucking answer is, because any one thing that I say is truly like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's not going to do shit. Because everything is connected. I talked about this on T's podcast, and this is the last time I'm going to mention it and not show you. So, this week, I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm not that kind of girl. This week, I did a podcast with my friend T. Jamaica Pogue, who is an ADHD intersectional activist, one of the first OG accounts I followed when I was discovering my neurodivergence. She is also a staunch anti-capitalist and an outspoken advocate for this shit, and she's just a soul after my own heart. We have the same brain. Like, we had just an amazing conversation about how disability and capitalism intersect, how fucking ableist and oppressive everything is. But the name of her podcast, and let's hop over here, is, I searched for Beyond Deconstructing Neurodivergence is the full name of the podcast. Her name is T. Jamaica Pogue. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so y'all can see that a little bit better. Uh-oh, stop. And this is the episode, the season premiere, which I'm honored. We recorded it on a Saturday. It came out on Monday. So I'm so glad she had me on. We cover all the shit. I even talk about COVID, not at length or anything, but, you know, that is a facet of ableism and eugenics that exists right now, and people don't like when I say that. Bitch, I don't like living it. How tired do you think we are? But yeah, go listen to this podcast. Please follow T. Jamaica Pogue. Follow me as well, bitch. Let me just plug my little YouTube real quick, because I put my VODs, my stream VODs on here now. Potatum with the number 8. I've got my last 3 or 4. Well, this one's from June as a highlight. But all of my VODs now exist on here. And I love making corny ass fucking thumbnails. But anyway, you are allowed to hate, despise, loathe entirely, denounce, critique, and wish to dismantle the system of oppression that you were born into and forced to participate in. You're allowed to do that. Participating in an oppressive society does not mean that you take pleasure in that oppression. When the alternative is starvation, houselessness, death, what other fucking choice do we have? I was talking to PJ about this before dinner. I want to try to recycle as much of what I said back then. The thing that has a lot of people shackled and balled and chained to capitalism is student loans. Student loans. Y'all already know how I feel about student loans. Hi, Chompy. We sure are, friend. You joined just in time. We're talking about how capitalism sucks, donkey butts, and we're talking about student loans. So, like I said, I studied voice, classically trained for 5 years, 4 in undergrad. I graduated debt-free, got a full ride to my state university to sing in the choir. So I was super fucking grateful. Graduated in 4 years by the skin of my teeth. Those gen ed classes nearly did me in. But for grad school, I went to a conservatory, which is specifically a music school or like a specific art school where you don't have to take general ed courses such as English and history and math and science. So for grad school, I got accepted to the Cleveland Institute of Music in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a prestigious conservatory, and it's fucking expensive, bitch. It's expensive. I graduated college in 2014. What? Over 9 years ago. So my 10-year graduation anniversary is coming up in May. It's gonna be May. Sorry. Every time I'm slapped in the face with the realization of time passing and my life flashing, I get a little Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, you know? I get a little Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon and shit. I just have to let it hit me. And now we're good. So... So, I auditioned for a bunch of conservatories at the behest of my professors and voice teachers and staff at the university. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with my life. I didn't know I had ADHD. I didn't know I was autistic. I didn't know that I changed my major from pre-med because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. No, heart emoji. I changed it to music because I was like, this is the only fucking way I'm going to be able to withstand 4 more fucking years of school. Is if I study what I'm good at. Is if I study, like, I didn't have to study as much as I had to practice and like work on my instrument. And that kept my dopamine alive. But when I tell you, my sophomore year, I took music history and U.S. history in the same semester. My least favorite subject. I failed both of them because I didn't go to class. Because, I don't know about y'all, but my brain literally will not allow me to process information if it is boring, dry, granular, like... Ugh! Couldn't do it. Lost my fucking scholarship during undergrad. Had to appeal over the summer, get dressed up all fancy, essentially beg the fucking dean of the music department to give me my scholarship back. Because my grades were all right until that one semester, and I fucking failed 2 classes. The signs for my neurodivergence were always there, and sometimes it pisses me the fuck off to think about it. And to think about all the people in my life who saw me so plainly suffering, and neither cared enough to ask me if they could help, or took it upon themselves to learn more about the particulars of my suffering, so that they could maybe help me draw an actually productive conclusion that wouldn't lead to me aimlessly floating for 10 more years. But anyway, I got the scholarship back. I graduated. I fucking almost failed my final English class. Or no. It was like literature history. Ew! Why? I get it. It's wonderful. Valid. If you love that stuff, I love that for you. I can't do it. Not for a grade. I like to learn about shit for fun. I like to learn about shit on my terms. I like to learn about the shit that I care about extremely deeply. Not lit history. So I passed that class with a D fucking minus. Graduated in 4 years. Auditioned for a bunch of conservatories. I auditioned for CIM. That's the Cleveland one. I auditioned for the Boston Conservatory in Boston, Massachusetts. I auditioned for the Curtis Institute. In Philly. I auditioned for the Academy of Vocal Arts in Philly. I auditioned for the Man's School of Music in Manhattan, New York City. And then I auditioned to like some smaller ones. Oh, I also auditioned to Cincinnati Conservatory. I got accepted into Boston. I got accepted into 2 without a scholarship. Boston, and I can't remember the other one. It's one of those that I just mentioned. And then I auditioned in Cleveland that next month, and they offered me a 50% scholarship. So I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my math right. Okay. So tuition back in 2014 was right at 40 grand per year. I don't know what it is now. I'm scared to look. So they offered me a 50% scholarship, which was, well, not right at 50. It was like 35 or no, sorry. It was $20,000. They offered me $20,000 period. I still had to come up with $20,000 more dollars. So what was I advised was the best path for me? Say it with me, student loans. And I took out the amount that they were willing to allot me because I was in grad school full time. I moved there with my college boyfriend who was struggling to find a job for most of our time there. I took the amount of loans out that we needed to live and survive. A fucking year in Cleveland, Ohio. The price of living entirely different from what I'm used to here in Hodunk, Appalachia. But I hated grad school. I would skip class and stay home and play Terraria all day. Just suffering in silence. Had no idea that I had ADHD. Had no idea that I wasn't a lazy fuck up piece of shit, but that my brain was seeking things that gave me dopamine, and grad school was just not. It wasn't. And like spring semester, I fucking stopped going to class, like basically fucking flunked. And I didn't even want to go to school that spring semester. I wanted to come home because Cleveland is fucking cold. I lived right on Lake Erie. That lake effect wind, that lake effect snow. No fucking joke. The lake was fucking frozen, completely frozen all winter long. It looked like Antarctica. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I lived right on the fucking water on the 18th floor of a 700 unit apartment building. Holy fucking shit. But I finished the semester, but I was within 5 months of the spring semester and like the summer, I was robbed 2 different times. So after the second time, they tried to steal my car. And that was after we had moved to a townhouse, which was closer to school and safer, said the owner of the property. I'll never forget his fucking name. Hi, Bart. Hi, mister. I'm sorry, ma'am, but crime has no address. Bart. I know that crime has no address. I would like to address the fucking lie that you told me. This was a safe, objectively safe place to be in. Because tell me why Bart, Barty, Bartholomew, Bart Shakakaboom. Did somebody mention Bart? Was there a drive-by shooting on my block a week after I moved out? You have the floor, sir.
Bartonomous.
Bartonomous.
Bartonomous, fuck off.
Bartonimo Bay. So, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Gross.
Yeah, Nug. Gross. So, the day I saw that my fucking car was almost stolen, like they had broken off part of the door. There was a rock about this big still sitting on the hood of the car. because the nighttime security guy managed to chase the guys off. It was a group of like 2 or 3 guys, and they fucking left the fucking rock on the car. I said, I'm done. I said, kiss my ass, Bart. I know we signed a lease. I ain't doing it. I'm leaving. So we took my most valuable shit and moved home 8 hours back down to Virginia that day. And then a week later, we came back and got the rest of our stuff. And then a couple of days after we did that was when that drive-by shooting occurred.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. It was down the street a little ways, maybe fucking, I don't know, 200 feet. But it was on that block.
Yeah.
But anyway, I dropped out of grad school. I just didn't go back. I stopped answering emails. The dean of the school called me and left me a heartfelt voice message. I'm sure it was very special. I don't even know if I listened to the fucking thing. I was just ready to be done with that whole experience. But that meant that my student loans were due.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
And the interest? Student loans are predatory. Student loan interest is evil. Evil. Student loans are the one thing that you cannot have forgiven when you declare fucking bankruptcy. Michael Scott style. Student loans have millions of us by the fucking short hairs. Student loans are the reason why so many of us get out of bed in the morning to go to work. Because of this debt that we have going over our heads. I was able, with my little shitty desk job that I was able to swing at one time, make 3 or 4 payments of, I want to say $500 some. In 2014, 2015. That's worth at least $3,000 today. I'm just kidding. That's not at all accurate. But when you work a little shit-ass, fiddle-ass, fuck-ass job, $500 is...
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
It's not like it's $20, you know? I was able to make about 3 payments. Being late discovered neurodivergent meant I could not keep a job for long. I couldn't stay at a job. I've only been fired 1 time. But I've quit fucking 20 jobs. Never with a 2-week notice. Like... I have had to like accept that not knowing me personally, not knowing my story, not knowing my neurotype, my neurodivergence, my disability, my truth, on paper, I kind of look like a piece of shit to some people. But I'm not a piece of shit, and neither is anyone who has had the same struggles as me. Let me be clear on that right now, but I'm just basing this based off the responses I get from people. These are people who base their human worth on their levels of productivity. And when our bodies are no longer able to be exploited for capital, especially the US, we are as good as dead. I wrote a whole piece on this on Medium, and it's making the rounds because I brought it up on T's podcast. It's called Capitalism Was Always Meant to Die. I have it in my Linktree link. You can go read it. I talk about how disability and capitalism just aren't made for each other in any capacity. Because tell me why, in my home state of Virginia, the average disability monthly payment is $1,200 and the average monthly rent in Virginia is $1,400. Disabled people are systematically discouraged from existing. And I'm thinking about all of my disabled friends and disabled people that I know that have tried their hardest to seek accommodations and help and assistance. You know, all above board, all, you know, official, all legal, through the fucking system, through, you know, disability, Social Security, and whatever it's called. SSI, I think. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke. It's run by octogenarian, pink-skinned, greedy motherfuckers who don't know the first thing about disability, who don't care to learn, who don't care to understand. They look at you, they look at your medical records, and they make the determination if you're disabled enough to receive assistance. And if you're not, you can go fuck yourself. They rarely accept you on your first attempt in hopes to dissuade you from trying again. Some people have gone through it 3 or 4 fucking times because they need that assistance. That's a whole other fucking conversation. I don't have the spoons for it. That's just the shit I'm on, right? That's the flavor. That's my palate, okay? Fuck capitalism. Fuck how they treat disabled people in this country and all over the world. Let's just be fucking honest. Fuck student loans. But every time I bring this up, Tadley, that drives a pickup and went to trade school and thinks that is what every single person should do, comes into my comments and says, bang, 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 bang. You should have made better choices. I talk about how I'm physically unable to pay back my student loans and I should have made better choices. Okay, cool. Cool. What if I told you that I was fucking 21 years old when I signed up for $30-some thousand? No fucking idea what I was doing. Came from a family that had once before filed bankruptcy. I'm not financially literate. It was not taught to me. I have not the first fucking clue about money. But sure, it's all my fault. I jumped through the hoops. I played the game. And I have nothing to show for it. Except a 2-3 year long case and counting of major autistic burnout. Because this system was driving me to an early grave. In my endless struggle to try to keep my head above water and try to stay at a job as long as I could physically and psychologically withstand it, I still have nothing to show for it. Everything I've done in the past year and some change has been of my own accord, of my own making, of my own wishes. And people don't like that shit either, man. I'm not trying to be... I'm not competing with anybody as far as like... I don't understand. Okay, my brain is going a million miles an hour. A lot of people are emotionally attached to their assumptions. And when they have new information presented to them, they do not want to let go of that emotional attachment in order to receive that new information. Because it might actually force them to confront their preconceived notion and possibly change their mind. Macaulay Culkin! We can't fucking have that now, can we? But that's always been projected onto me by these people. I say, well, student loans are predatory. Broski moves the goalposts. Well, if you didn't want to take out student loans, I don't know, maybe you should have studied something else, gotten yourself a better job. Well, I don't know, Chodley. No one's hiring in my field. Well, you should have studied something that wasn't underwater basket weaving. Well, okay, I studied business management. I studied nursing. Not just me. I'm not the only fucking one. People who studied the most ubiquitous thing can't find work. Can't find livable paying work. Is that their fault too? Boot breath. Quickly. So miss me. Miss me. I'm not a shill. I'm not a grifter. I'm not a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. I'm a 10 toes down, fully grown, late realized autistic adult who is openly vocal about that, openly vocal about the struggles that I faced in my life, openly vocal about the oppressive system that is oppressing you too, Chodley, grinding me down to my nucleus for my entire fucking life, and I have nothing to show for it. And let me tell you something. These rich motherfuckers that run all this shit, that's not newly accrued wealth out of the goody woodiness of their heart. It's old money. They inherit it, they're born into it, and they carry it on. And if you want to be like that when you grow up and you weren't born into a fucking millionaire family, I'm sorry, boss, it ain't gonna happen. You're much closer to houselessness than you'll ever be to being a millionaire. And too many of these dudes think they're in their pre-millionaire phase, their humble beginnings era. No. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. I don't like that this is true. I don't take pleasure in providing this information. It's something that I've seen plainly and clearly for most of my adult life. I just didn't know the fucking words to put to it. And now that I have the words, I'm not going to shut up about it. And if you don't like it, may I suggest that you fucking scroll? Bye. Oh my God. Sorry, I just needed to get that shit out. Just miss me. Miss me. I'm pre and post poor. And still. Thank you, Sylvia. I haven't been paying much attention to the chat tonight. I can't wait to watch it back. Being poor is traumatic. And being poor is expensive. There's fucking poverty tax on things. There's also ADHD tax on things. And when you're ADHD and poor, you're getting fucking taxed triple for shit. By way of late fees and overdrafts and free trials that you forget to cancel and memberships that are hard to get out of. Oh, yeah, banks, credit union, like credit scores. I love that credit scores were a thing and like they started in like 89. Just in time for me to show up in 91 at the end of 91. Love that for us. Really do. I don't know, y'all. Is it a tater stream if I don't rant about capitalism for a few minutes? I think the fuck not. Alright. This is a good time. It's almost been 2 hours and my face is hot. So I'm going to take a quick BRB. Get you a snack, get you a drink. Smoke them if you got them. Stretch your limbs. If your butt's numb like mine, stand up. Stretch it out, wobble it out. And we'll be back in a jiff. Hey. Hi. Y'all's chat made me hop back in a little early. I stood up, punched my butt cheeks to try to wake them up. It didn't work. But the chat is what got me back in here. Just reading y'all talking about credit scores and stuff. And then I saw Specs' chat and then Pickles' chat. Thank you, Bean. I missed you too. Thank y'all so much for being here, by the way. Lurkers, listeners, now and later, it's an honor to be a part of your day in any capacity. And I really appreciate you taking the time to spend this time with me. I really do appreciate it. But let me read this out loud. Specs. This is also refreshing to me, so validating. I've always felt so alone with my thoughts because everyone else around me lacks so much empathy and doesn't reflect on anything that isn't surface level. She just puts into words so well what I struggle to but feel internally. Thank you for sharing that, Specs. I'm glad that anybody can resonate with what the fuck I'm saying, because I was just telling PJ that I feel like I always feel like in the moment that I'm rambling incoherently. When I watch them back to like edit them and put on YouTube, I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Like it's never as bad as I think it is. It's frustrating because I can only get one thought out at a time and my brain moves too fucking fast and my mouth moves too fucking slow. But at any rate, whatever words I manage to squeeze out of my pie hole, I'm glad that they resonate with you. I'm glad that it refreshes you. That's why I talk about this shit, because no one else does. I meant to talk about this before break. I was really ashamed for a very long time to even say out loud my struggle with student loans. I've had people tell me that they've been paying $7,000 a fucking, or let me be a little reasonable, Tatum. They pay like $700 a month for 8 years. And their balance has only gone down, I don't know, a few grand. Thanks, compounded interest. So like, excuse me for instead of putting my money into a literal paper shredder that does absolutely fucking nothing, I would rather eat and live and survive. So I'm going to do that. The pennies that I manage to pinch from my various tiny streams of income every month is barely enough to do what I need to do in my own life. And it's very inconsistent. So, you're going to have to harvest my organs, motherfuckers. But those of you who do resonate and are refreshed, I'm glad you have found your people. Damn it. There are more of us than we think. There are a lot of people who, like me for a long time, were just scared of saying this shit because there's so much shame and guilt that is placed on us through capitalism. Capitalism relies on shame and guilt to get us out of bed in the morning. It relies on us being levied against each other with pointless culture wars and calling other people lazy and entitled and stupid and spoiled and basing our worth on our level of productiveness. That's ableist by nature. Hot fucking take. Humans weren't born to work and die. We're the universe experiencing itself in corporeal form. We don't have to clock in and clock out to breathe in air on this earth. We shouldn't have to do it. We're all just collectively playing along to something that's killing us all and killing the planet, and it makes me lose my mind up in here, up in here. But Pickles chat I wanted to touch on. Beware the landlord who doesn't check credit. My landlord didn't check credit.
Oh my God!
Because if he did, I probably wouldn't be able to live here. Also, my landlord fucking sucks. If you know, you know. Okay. Let's get to the fucking final fucking thing of the evening. Oh boy. I wish I could say I was excited about this. If I hadn't already mentioned it on Twitter that I was going to do this, I wouldn't even fucking do it because I'm tired, y'all. But that means I have just enough spicy vinegar in my system to get this one out, so. I haven't played that sound in forever. Didn't I do it for you?
I didn't know you still had it.
Yeah, it's on my soundboard.
That's right, that's right.
On like my first page. Oh, my face is hot. Ugh. Specs. I can't stop thinking about how I didn't choose to exist. That part. That was my parents' decision, but I'm forced into a system that isn't built for me. That part. And doesn't accommodate to my needs. That part. But expects me to work to the bone or perish because I can't provide for myself because of my parents' decision. Make it make sense. Somebody. Please. Alright, so hey, listen. Some fucking fuck shit popped up on my Twitter timeline this week. Because of course it did, right? Butt feels. Buttspot, please.
Jesus Christ, brother.
Buttspot, we're in for a long article, my friend. Okay, alright, okay, alright. You timed out Buttspot! That's fucking funny! I didn't know you could do that! That's like 10 minutes.
Yes, it is.
Alright, so this is hilarious, right? Because the title of this article is only about 3% to 5% of this whole article. I don't know who the fuck this woman is. Before tonight's stream, never heard of her. Never heard of her. But, no. Her name is Philippa Perry. She's a British psychotherapist. That's ironic as fuck. And writer. Keep that writer title in mind. Okay? She writes books like The Book You Wish Your Parents Had Read and The Book You Want Everyone You Love to Read and How to Stay Sane and Couch Fiction, A Graphic Tale of Psychotherapy and How to Be a Parent. Good Lord.
Jesus, all of that just sounds like...
She's a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh, she has the same birthday as my ex. That's how you know.
Holy
This
shit.
bitch is fucked up. Oh my god. Okay. So, that's who we're dealing with. She, said this probably like 70% of the way through her interview in passing. And Miss Helen Rumbelow. Look out! Rumbelow! I don't know. I was trying to make a pun. It didn't work. We're going with it. So, this shit shows up in my timeline. I proceed to skirt the paywall by way of using archive.ph. You go to archive.ph, you paste the URL of whatever paywall article you're trying to read, and it'll pull it up for you for free. You're welcome. You didn't hear it from me, even though this will live forever on YouTube. I don't care. So, this article, I was telling PJ on break, is the most scratch your ass and sniff your finger shit I've ever read in my life, dude. And I'm debating even reading the whole thing. But I think we need to read the whole thing because you need to see the type of person who has this sort of perspective. And boy, does it get flowery, okay? This language is lofty. It reads like a fucking divorcee novel. I don't even know. No, she's happily married. Has a daughter my exact age. Alright, let's just fucking get this over with, please. Philippa Perry says, ADHD is now fashionable. Social contagion drives this. That's a pretty turfy term, isn't it? The only people I hear are using that term. The psychotherapist tells Helen Rumbelow about labels, guilt, and nearly dying. This is who we're dealing with. This is who we're dealing with. Okay. Philippa Perry says, I think you're a better politician if you've had some therapy. Okay. Philippa, now listen, this is a long article, so if I change into a voice to keep myself entertained, just fucking go with it. Okay? Go with it, and you're welcome. How about that? I shouldn't have done that, because now it's all fuckery up. Hold on. Fuckery duckery duck. Suck my fucking bleep. Alright. I can't say the cock word, you're right. Philippa Perry was gravely ill in intensive care. Like an artistic tableau, the bed of one of the nation's most successful psychotherapists was flanked by her husband Grayson, the recently knighted artist, and her 31-year-old daughter Flo, also an artist. I was loving it. I had such a good time, Perry says. It struck home for me that what matters above everything is your relationships. I had my daughter, my husband, and my best friends. Nothing else mattered in that moment. Did I seriously think I might die? Well, when that lot turned up, maybe. It happened this spring when, coincidentally, she had just finished writing her new book on adult relationships. The book you want everyone you love to read. This is a follow-up to her phenomenally successful book on parenting, the book you wish your parents had read, which has sold well over 2 million copies internationally and seems, from my sample of friends, to have become an instant parenting classic. So she essentially got interviewed by a fan. It's making a lot of sense now. Here, we're painting the scene, all right? When we meet at a North London pub, Perry is just recovering from bronchitis, but is sharply funny and an arresting communicator. Her look is as amplified as a brand, a pinwheel of black and white stripes in her hair, and a pair of bright specs. I wore mine just for the occasion. Today, she is peering at me through pink frames. If I had some, I would put them on. Each time I ask a question, she leans forward with owlish intent. This is my owlish. Whoo! Cocksuckery. This is so sniff your finger after scratching your ass, right? Each time, okay, owlish intent, which I would find good value had I been one of her private clients. I wonder if her color game has influenced or been influenced by Claire, Grayson's female alter ego who dresses in childlike brights. But she has asked me not to mention her husband of more than 30 years. So I keep that thought to myself.
What
Before Philippa has even opened her mouth that much in this interview, Helen, red flag on the play. Are you being tongue-in-cheek here? She said don't talk about my husband.
That's fucking weird.
And you proceed to do just that. I love color, she says. I think you've got to be careful after a certain age not to disappear into a beige car coat. Personally, I don't like getting run over. I wish I had the fucking Titanic flute button.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Both of her self-help books have supremely self-confident titles. In a similar vein, she often tells me very self-confident things with a laugh or comic emphasis that softens them. For instance, she says that she has no anxiety about interviews. Talking about myself? Amazing! Don't have to pretend to be interested in anyone else? Amazing. At 65, it feels like she's just getting along as an author. Oh my God! Not the layered flutes! Oh.
That's what Dear Philippa has earned.
That, you've heard of Dear Theodosia. That was Dear Philippa. Dear Philippa Perry, let me say to you, you're ableist as fuck. I wish you hadn't said this. But, where am I? Amazing. Talking about myself, amazing. Being here and talking about me, amazing. At 65, it feels like she's just getting along as an author, artist, television presenter, and weekly agony aunt for a national newspaper. She never looks at feedback on social media. Well, that's until now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sometimes I have a cheeky Pete and think, nest of vipers, no thanks. I don't let it worry me. People approach her after recognizing her from Grayson's Art Club, the lockdown TV show that ran for 3 series with her as his co-host. She doesn't take on board their praise or criticism. This is a picture of her family, her daughter, her, and her husband, who she didn't want to be talked about in this interview. But name, drag persona, and photo, all in this interview. Go off, Helen.
Yeah.
I need some water. Like, what is this about? Well, I know what it's about. She's got a book coming out. She said, which community can I piss off the most? Oh yes, my clientele. They're having a relationship with themselves and projecting what they think I am onto me. What they think of me is none of my business, so I don't let it affect me. What people think of you is none of your business if it's unjust and undue, but if people have actual criticism, if they are coming to you because you said something objectively harmful about their community, and your response is to go, oh dear, it appears I've upset many people. Fuck off! Fuck off! She tells me that she wrote this book as adults often have an area of weakness in their various relationships with themselves, friends, colleagues, or partners. Which is her weakness? Oh, I'm pretty damn good at all of them. I've had a lot of therapy. Jesus Christ. I find this authority relaxing. You do? I know when I'm in her favor, which is when I arrive and she offers to show me her artist's studio around the corner, where I go to watch Place in the Sun. And I know when I'm not, which is when I mistake her forthrightness for frankness. When I ask what illness she had in intensive care, she replies, something. When I ask why she left her first husband or why she doesn't want to talk about Grayson, she is uninhibitedly annoyed and firmly defends her no-go areas. And still you persisted, Helen. Both of these ladies are on my dunzo list.
Dunzo.
That therapy started when Perry was in her early 30s. She grew up in middle-class Cheshire, and after a stint at boarding school, between 10 and 15, she was packed off to a finishing school in Switzerland. The same... I did not even see this part. She went to the same finishing school as Princess Diana.
Fucking kidding me? How am I... Be for fucking real right now. How am I
Can you shut the fuck up?
seriously, you upper class fucking...
You gonna eat that garlic?
Bruh.
I tried to go that whole time without blinking and I couldn't do it.
Balls.
I played the dial-up internet connecting sound on the soundboard. Perry is now, thanks to her husband, officially Lady Perry. You've heard of Katy Perry. A title she doesn't use except on her driving license in case I get stopped for speeding. Would this make her a star pupil of that finishing school? She says she is glad it has closed down as our children deserve a better education than that. Okay.
She only has pictures of herself crossing her arms in the corner.
Yeah, cute. I was always believed to be thick, and I'm not thick. I'm dyslexic, she says, which is a form of neurodivergence, ma'am. Welcome to the club.
You're right. Jesus fucking Christ.
Cricket, cricket. Blink, blink. You're an artist. Your husband is an artist. Your daughter is an artist. You all wear unabashedly bright clothing. You're not neurotypical, ma'am. But that doesn't mean you can't be ableist as fuck, right? As we know all too well. I think my parents thought it would be my best bet to go there and meet some posh people and maybe marry one of their brothers. I think that was my mother's fantasy for me. I had different ideas, luckily. But when you're 15, you haven't got agency over your own life. I want you to remember that sentence. When you're 15, when you're a child, before you are an adult, you haven't got agency over your own life. All right, Philippa.
Bet.
Noted. Perry married young, aged 21, and after a decade of jobs such as legal clerking and working in McDonald's, left her wilderness years and her first husband. However, just when things were going right, studying art, writing, and meeting Grayson, the tears began. I'm getting so fucking bored. I started therapy when things were going really well. I didn't understand why, if things were going so well, I woke up every morning crying. I thought it odd. I need to look into it. It must have taken a long time to escape that failure pigeonhole she was shoved in so young. She says she did not escape for a very long time. That's what therapy really helped. It helped me to believe in my abilities a little more. Therapy is not for everyone, she says. She herself stopped having it a decade or so ago. Isn't it notable, I say, that no British political leader admits to therapy? That it's still perceived as weakness? Noted. I read out to her Tony Blair's views on therapy. She says, I hope he's handsome. Christ, poor man. I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Who is that?
British Prime Minister.
British Prime Minister? Minister? He has not. Blair sums up the old school. Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about now. Blair sums up the old school British attitude when he says, self-absorbed introspection is not very healthy. He's right, but I mean, no, sorry. He's wrong, but like, this is how Philip, like, when it comes to her own self and her own life and her own problems, she can dissect it and get molecular with it and process it and move past it. But when she causes harm with her platform and on other people's lives and other people's neurotypes and disabilities, and says hateful shit about entire communities and about something that's already stigmatized and fucked up, she refuses to take accountability for that. She doubled down on Twitter. I don't have the fucking spoons to pull it up. Therapy isn't... Okay. Therapy isn't about introspection. Therapy is about becoming more aware of your impact upon others. By way of what? Say it with me. Introspection!
No, but that would mean what she said earlier is contradicted, so.
I know. Fuck me. Therapy makes you less selfish rather than more. I think it also makes you less dogmatic, more flexible. I think you'd be a better politician for having had therapy. Does she even believe what the fuck she's saying? Yeah, she is all... Okay. ADHD prescriptions soar 7-fold in a decade. I wanted to read this one too, but I don't have the spoons. You can go read this shit. Look it up. Archive.ph. Paste it in. Save your fucking money. Okay? People are just fucking panicking that ADHD exists and people need medicine for it. It's almost like the advent of fucking internet and social media and digital knowledge has fostered these discoveries in people. And an increase in prevalence does not always equal an increase in existence. Whether or not we had the language to describe these experiences is neither here nor there, bitch. We have always been here. Period. Next. Here we go. Here's the fucking meat and potatoes of this whole fucking thing. She scratched her pits and licked her hand until now. Talking about her art. Talking about her fucking contradictory views about therapy. Ugh. And then she gets real spicy. Yet, she is also skeptical of some other trends in mental health. She writes in her latest book that, quote, "It's a fashion at the moment for everyone to look for a box to put their feelings in. These buzzwords and acronyms become part of someone's identity, and it's closing down inquiry. People aren't getting better because they are demanding instant definition." I ask what she's referring to. Bipolar disorder was, a few years ago, quote, "the fashionable one," she says. ADHD is very fashionable at the moment. It's social contagion that drives this. You don't know where your keys are. It doesn't mean you've got ADHD. You can't sit still. That doesn't mean you've got ADHD. I get a little worried. I'm not saying all labels are bad. I'm saying some labels give you an excuse not to take self-responsibility. End quote. Alright, so, listen, bitch. I know you're not. I know you'll never fucking see this. I know this bitch doesn't fucking care. But listen, Philippa! You are out of pocket for this shit. You are a psychotherapist. Isn't empathy one of the alleged tenets of psychotherapy? Someone told me. I don't know how true that is. I don't have the spoons to fucking look into your life. This article is sucking them out of me as we speak. But you don't get to come on here for a major publication written by one of your fucking fans who just gobbles up your every drippy, oozy word.
Need sucky sucky now, mommy.
Mommy's milk.
Suck.
I can't with these crusty white women who hasn't advanced their own knowledge about a thing since the fucking 90s or whatever, if ever. And then at the first given opportunity, they come in sideways with their hot fucking take that's objectively false. And then she's like, "Oh well, what you think of me isn't any of my business. Your anger at me is misdirected. A projection, if you will. I'm 65, an artist, and don't talk about my husband." Helen said, "But wait, aren't you dyslexic? Isn't that a label that you use and that helps you?" Yes, but wouldn't it be great if I could just be understood as someone who gets the letters muddled up in their words and be accepted as that, rather than having to have a label?
So what do you propose we call the thing that we put in our body that gives us energy, that lets us live? Oh, I got a shorter way to say food. You fucking toenail.
She is a toenail.
Jesus.
Apt observation, bitch. Good job. But listen, ma'am. Yeah. You want to be understood as someone who gets the letters muddled up in their words. But if you are only saying that, then aren't you portraying previous paragraph? That doesn't mean you're dyslexic. You are also minimizing your own fucking disability. Because it doesn't impact you as heavily or severely as it may impact someone else doesn't mean that it's not disabling for people. You don't know where your keys are. I don't have ADHD. I just don't know where my keys are and I can't sit still. This woman has an incomplete understanding of her own neurodivergence, and she's operating from that abbreviated amount of knowledge, which is next to fucking none.
An objectively internalized ableism.
Internalized and externalized ableism. ADHD isn't this cute little quirky fucking thing. I spent the better part of 2 hours painstakingly describing my woes, trials, tribulations, and failures of 3 decades due to my undiscovered ADHD. ADHD is debilitating. Lighten the mood. K2 thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for being here. I promise I'm not this spicy all the fucking time, but you caught me on a good night, friend. Just putting these ableist bitches to bed, and then I'll be out of y'all's hair. So, I need a fucking hit. I've only taken 1 hit in fucking 2 hours. I don't know how I did it. It's legal in my state, so it's legal on my stream. Do not come for me. Smoke them if you got them.
I came here on purpose.
Beans, what the fuck?
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you came here on purpose.
I came.
Hello. So, all right. I wish, I really do, Philippa, I wish with all of my little bonesies that my ADHD was just this cute little quirky thing that I can put down and not be whenever the fuck I want. You can't list 2 traits that are relative to each person with ADHD and say that ADHD, late recognized ADHDers, is a social contagion. Now I can't remember if she speaks about this later, but I will touch on something that is a valid point. I don't like the way that people throw around terms in conversations because they did one thing. You know what I mean? Like, an example would be like, oh, I triple check to make sure the door is locked. Tee-hee, that's so OCD of me. There's nothing tee-hee, ooh, woo, gaga, goo-goo about OCD. It is also fucking debilitating. It is also disabling. It is also not a social contagion. So fuck the people who throw it around in conversation like that. If this is what you're saying, Philippa, then I definitely agree with you on that front. But we both know that's not what the fuck you're saying. Helen knows that's not what you're fucking saying. And the response that you got on social media knows that that's not what the fuck you were saying. What did you say earlier? When you're 15 years old, you have no agency. The first time I asked my shitty psychiatrist, if you know, you know, the one that went viral and I got interviewed in Glamour UK about last year, the first time he denied me for an autism assessment, he asked me, but wait, If you're autistic, then why didn't your parents have you assessed? Motherfucker. Full disclosure, I know this is going to live on YouTube. Oh well, I'm sharing my life. It happened to me, I deserve to fucking tell it. When I was 6 years old, one night at bedtime, I was in the bathroom with my brother. I was teaching him how to brush his teeth. He's 3 years younger than me. He was standing on the floor in front of the sink. The sink came up to like here on him. I was standing on top of the toilet and looking down and telling him how to brush his teeth and brushing our teeth together. I slip. I fall. I hit the back of my head on the side of our porcelain bathtub. It swells up to the size of a grapefruit. My parents call over one of my extended relatives who is a phlebotomist, a person who draws blood, and said, "Hey, is she okay? Let's keep an eye on her. Let's make sure she doesn't go to sleep." They didn't take me to the hospital. They never had me seen for that. The most blatant, potentially life-threatening thing to a child, hitting their fucking head and having it swell up to 150% its size, and they didn't take me to the hospital for that. They dismissed all of my neurodivergent traits as behavior issues and character flaws, and I got my ass beat on the regular for them. Why the fuck would they have me assessed for autism, Dr. Sage Lockhart? Please be serious. Even if they did give a fuck, I can't speak for them. I don't know why they didn't have me assessed. And even then, that day, I said, that's a question for them, doc. I don't fucking know. I could venture a few fucking guesses. Give me a break, bitch. Give me a break. When you're 15 years old, you ain't got no agency in it. When I was a child, I wasn't a human being in the eyes of the adults around me. I was meant to be an obedient little machine that was seen and not heard and better do well in school or they're gonna light that ass up with a belt. If I had trouble doing my homework because it was just too much and I couldn't focus, I would get my ass beat or I would get screamed at. Not knowing that the reason why I can't focus is because it's fucking boring and dry and I've been at it for hours and my brain is tired and I need a break and I can't do this. For 28 years of my life, I had no agency. I had to take it back as an adult. And bitch, I did. And what you're seeing now is me making up for lost time. My neurodivergence discovery found me. It rang bells that will never be unrung. It forced these revelations onto me. It forced these retroactive realizations onto me. I've had to reprocess my life with new information fucking 3 or 4 times over in the past 2 or 3 years. I'm taking my agency back as an adult that I wasn't afforded as a child to get some fucking answers for what the fuck is going on in my head. And it's more than just my head. Autism is not something that can be cured. ADHD is not something that can be cured. Philippa, neither my disability nor my neurotype is a social contagion. I would argue that the term social contagion is social contagion. Because y'all turf-ass bitches say it all the damn time. Now, I'm not accusing her of being a turf.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
If the maths, it's math. Whatever, bitch. Let's fucking finish this. My butt hurts and I'm mad. Oh yeah, wouldn't it be great if I could just live and say, I don't know where my keys are. I can't sit still. Bitch, you're a psychotherapist. You're not an ADHD specialist. What do you do for a living besides write shitty books? Your book is probably a bestseller because it's brightly colored and it rains in England a lot and people like bright colors.
Oh shit.
It's a coffee table book, bitch.
Yeah, just because someone bought the book doesn't mean they read the book.
It lights up the room aesthetically.
You didn't design the cover, Philippa.
And a lot of people who I've experienced a lot of people who have come at me various angles of sideways saying things like, "Oh wow, so you learned about this from TikTok?" Yes, I did. And when they hear that, they think that I watched exactly one TikTok about someone who checks notes, don't know where their keys are, and that person has ADHD. And then I was like, oh shit, I have ADHD now all of a sudden. They don't know. I don't have the spoons to explain, and I can't express with language the amount of time, the amount of pain, the amount of grief, the amount of rage, the amount of retroactive processing that had to take place in order for me to make this realization. The amount of times I double, triple, quintuple fucking checked and rechecked my information, took self-assessments, listened to other people with ADHD, proceed to describe the innermost experiences in my being that I never spoke out loud with anyone, that I always thought were just a me thing. I learned language and labels that perfectly describes what I have been suffering with in silence for 28 years. Every medication that I've ever been on in my life has failed me immensely. Because if woman with emotions must be depressed, enjoy this Zoloft. Enjoy it. I did not. But it's really weird how my ADHD medication worked. It's almost like my brain isn't necessarily serotonin deficient. It's more than likely fucking dopamine deficient, bitch. Like, if you don't have ADHD, if you don't know anyone with ADHD, then why the fuck would you on your own volition read about it? Like, and you're not studying it and you're not getting paid to do it. You wouldn't necessarily. Not saying that people don't take it upon themselves to learn about things, but I'm saying, if you spend an inordinate amount of time learning about things for fun and going down deep rabbit holes about shit, always, and you spout off random trivia at random times, you might be showing up on the neurospicy scale a little bit, my friend. There might be some sort of neurodivergence happening there. And if an app or a service like TikTok or any social media is how you get this information, then that's how you get this information. People like that who shit and boo-boo on social media and the internet, and people like this talk about the internet like it's a passing fucking fad. Social media sucks. Is the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 20th circle of hell. Makes me mad almost every single fucking day. But it's also the way that my immunocompromised ass is able to exist in the world and make friends and make connections and make realizations and learn things and learn from people. We're not communicating exclusively in emojis. We're sharing our experiences. We're sharing research. We're sharing antiquated stereotypes that are not true. I feel like a broken ass record when I say this shit, but I know that some people are hearing it for the first time, and I'll never get tired of saying it. I just feel like a broken record. And I know Pidge has heard me say this shit hundreds of fucking times over the past 2 years. And I'm well aware of that. But my thought fucking disappeared. Wow. My brain low-key hates me, Philippa. It's super cute and quirky when you have a super eloquent and actually articulate thought fleshed out and it falls out of your fucking head, never to be seen, heard, or smelled again. Yeah, I'm living it up here, bitch. I am a trend. I am the moment, TM symbol. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Can we finish this, please? Equally interesting is a section in her book about diaphobia, the fear of dialogue, or opening yourself to the possibility of someone changing your mind. Social media, I say, has created a diaphobia epidemic. What, bitch? You're one of those bitches that likes to talk just to hear your own teeth rattle, aren't you? And I know that the author and the writer is who said this. I feel like y'all are two peas in a pod if you're a Philippa's fan. Is that what she was touching on? I dug deeper. No, she says. She was talking about one-on-one diaphobes. I'm pretty bad at following cultural affairs as it upsets me too much. Being highly sensitive, dealing with emotional dysregulation, feeling strongly moved by negative impacts on the world, feeling strongly fueled by a sense of justice or a low tolerance for fuckery, as I like to call it. I don't know. Just things I'm noticing about her. Not gonna say what those things are, necessarily. What label they would be classified under, but if you know, you know. Who does she mean by they? Perry replies, people who like arguing. On both sides, yes. The way this is written sucks. Sorry, bitch. There's now this fashion of, if I agree with you about 19 things and disagree with you about one, that means you are a totally bad person. There is a lot of all or nothing thinking. Yep. There sure is. How do I know? We just fucking read it.
I've been reading it.
We used to be able to be friends with people from different political parties. Oh,
No,
fucking!
Here we go. Here it comes. Donkey braying noises. Who would have thought that this is where it was going? Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
I'm just sick of not being friends with people who are shitty people because they're fun to watch.
You're not talking about politics, bitch. You're talking about human rights issues, and I know you are. You don't give a fuck about where your taxes go. You don't give a fuck about government funding or spending or whatever. You give a fuck about, I don't know, harassing people in public bathrooms. I don't know! Allegedly, don't come for me. Or different schools of psychotherapy or whatever.
Oh, yes. Very definitive language.
What in the wasp?
Right.
What in the wasp?
This comes off so privileged
What?
and entitled, like...
What in the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant fuck-ass shit is this, Philippa?
What in the gentry?
I know you're not going to watch this because you don't care. Because what I think about you is none of your beeswax. So I'm letting it fly. Nelly Furtado. Intransigence, is ultimately self-defeating, she says. Huh. If you deliver your point of view with less certitude, it's more convincing. For those of you who don't know what intransigence means, it means the unwillingness to change your mind about something. What did I talk about earlier in the stream? A lot of people are emotionally attached to their assumptions that they make about things, and in spite of receiving new, updated, correct information, they will not let go of their emotional attachment to whatever little thingy they learned in their fucking textbook from Princess Diana's finishing school in 1974. Nurkles23, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you being here. You came in at the perfect fucking time, friend. Thank you. I feel like my jaw is going to fall off my fucking head. Yeah, Philippa. You're eating your own tail with this one, girly pop. Your unwillingness to change your mind with owlish intent is your downfall, personally. And you got a taste of that this weekend, didn't you, girly? And her fucking statement on Twitter is so fucking dismissive. I feel like that's important context, too.
Yeah, there was something when you looked her up that was like, she apologizes or whatever.
That ain't no damn apology.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it's like, just because you print that doesn't mean it's true.
That's Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Alright, here we go. So, this is Ellie Middleton, if you don't know who this is. She's an amazing author, ADHD advocate, creator. She's on TikTok, obviously on Twitter. She was speechless at this, understandably fucking so, because it's absolutely awful. Disabled people do deserve better, goddammit, and I'll never stop saying it. But Philippa said, oh, damn. Sips tea owlishly. I've upset a lot of people. I didn't mean to. I'm not saying ADHD doesn't exist. I'm saying it shouldn't be an identity. And it shouldn't be, God, I wish I had a fucking soundboard to echo my voice right here. Self-diagnosed. We are more than our diagnoses. That's what I'm trying to say. Philippa, I'm bringing it in for this one, okay? Listen. When you're 15, innit? You ain't got no agency there, love. Brovgov.
Lovna.
Lovna. Brovna.
Innit?
Alright.
Alright, go.
You went to the same finishing school in Switzerland as Princess Diana!
Boop boop bop. Beep boop boop beep bop bop beep boop boop beep bop boop bop beep boop boop beep boop bop.
Okay?
We mau very mo mo. We mau very mo.
Ma'am, may I be bold, italicized, and underlined, and say that you've never wanted for anything in your fucking life.
Yep. You started going to therapy when things were good? Fucking good.
You were able to access therapy with no question whatsoever.
Yeah.
That in and of itself is a feat.
Your fucking husband is a knight.
You are a psychotherapist.
How dare you have such harmful fucking language?
What do you charge an hour?
Oh, God.
Triple digits?
What do you even do?
Do you even still do it anymore, or do you just suck your own taint and paint pictures? Listen, I'm in a mood. I don't care what I say anymore. I don't. I just need to, I need to find out where the audacity came from, and I think we found it, folks. In her fucking bank account. In her fucking lineage. In her fucking politics. In my day, if I said trans people aren't people, no one batted an eye. She didn't say that. I'm not alleging that she is transphobic. I'm just doing a little bit of math, okay? Does she have a website? Who's Curtis Brown? All right, listen. I'm going to say something nice about this woman. She has a lot of cool glasses. But that's not even about her. It's about the glasses. And if I had Princess Di finishing school money, ha! I would have a closet just for glasses, bitch. But anyway, she volunteered with the Samaritans. She writes books and things.
She's been on Channel 4.
Intransigence is ultimately self-defeating. Learn you something, bitch. Sometimes, though, she seems full of certitude. After her brush with mortality, she says she didn't go back and sugar her latest book, saying everything will be okay as long as everyone loves you. A 2-word shorthand for the book you wish your parents had read might be choose truth, she says. It refers to her opinion that you should try to connect honestly with your child. For example, if you are so bored in the playground you want to go home, tell them. As a 2-word shorthand for her latest book, she offers choose guilt. It refers to her preference for direct communication, setting clear limits on what you will and will not do for someone else. Guilt is better than resentment, Perry writes, acknowledging that choosing guilt can involve inflicting hurt. Sometimes being authentic means we are not as kind as we would wish to be. I take a little bit of grievance with that. I do. Because if you're, authenticity is innately harmful to others, that's worth examining, brovna. Your authenticity shouldn't really affect other people. Coming from the perspective of a recovering people pleaser, I made a TikTok about this recently, and it's still fresh in my mind. I used to think that confidence meant emulating other people's versions of confidence, emulating other people's versions of sexiness, bigness, boldness. But I realized that when I learned that I'm on ADHD and I started putting down other people's projections of me and started showing up as myself and beginning to trust myself and trust that my reality is actually valid, the authenticity fostered confidence naturally. My confidence is now no longer sourced in what I think I should be. My confidence is now sourced in how myself I am. And as a recovering people pleaser, that means I'm fucking 30 years late, but I'm here now and I'm making up for lost time at setting boundaries. And setting boundaries are not for other people. Setting boundaries are for you. Everything you fucking do to people please is for other people. But if you have a boundary saying you won't do something, you won't participate, you won't say that, you won't accept other people doing, participating in, or saying those things about you, that is about you. But if you're conflating authenticity with dickheadishness, and you think that being authentic just means saying every single fucking fucked up, owlishly intended thought that flutters around in your mind, that sounds like all or nothing thinking to me, bitch. Oh my God, is this over? Whatever. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost fucking done, okay? Hey, don't leave yet. Please, don't minimize the windows. No, stop, no! Choose guilt is a formulation first expressed by the Canadian therapist Gaba Mate. Sorry, I had to. Gabor? Jaja? That is called arrogance. Bean Googled it.
I've Googled it so you can trust me.
Google coming through. While this may be all very well for a North American, what about us? Bitch, what about y'all? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. What about you two specifically? I find Perry urging us to choose truth and guilt exotically.
The giant horse conch weighs over 11 pounds.
It does. Every bit of it. Don't know what that is in metric. Sorry. Exotically un-English and therefore quite thrillingly transgressive. In the book, she uses the example of a woman who wrote to her with a problem. She was due to be a bridesmaid for a friend from whom she had drifted apart. She says, "You would not believe the number of bridesmaid problems I get." Perry advocated writing the bride a letter, putting out of the hen-do. I'm not hip to the jargon. I'm not hip to the vernacular. What does pulling out of the hen-do mean? Bean? Any Brits out there? Anyone privy to that one? Because I'm stumped.
Probably means woman's area, like
pulling out of what she knows as a, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hindu sounds like or sounds like women work.
It's a bachelorette party.
It's a bachelorette party?
That's a terrible way to put that. Yeah, Bean's confirming.
Why?
A new Bean would save me, Biscuit.
Why? 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 Why?
No, I thought the same, Pickle.
Why? Block. Bye. Why? The term Hindu originated in the mid-19th century. It only referred to entertainment attended by women. Why? Why? Yeah, I've also heard like fucking 1940s transatlantic accent men refer to women as chicks and hens and the like, you know? The word hen was first used as slang for women in the 1620s. Okay, the male equivalent is stag.
Like a stag party.
Yeah.
I only heard that in fucking Family Guy.
What's a bachelor party called? A stag do?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep, that's what Bean just said.
Okay, I feel a little better. But I don't know. The whole thing about women being called clucking hens has always itched my craw, you know? All right, let's fucking finish this, please. I beg of you. My bones hurt and I long for the sweet release of death. I find Perry urging us to choose truth and guilt exotically un-English and therefore quite thrillingly... Okay. Bridesmaid, okay. I don't want to be there. Okay, who cares? I don't want to be there. I can't put on an act. Helen is reminded of the self-centeredness that artists and writers sometimes say is necessary to create. Is Perry saying to put oneself first? Don't always put yourself first, but if it's making you feel really bad, it might be a good idea.
What the fuck kind of language is
How many clients' lives has she fucked up with fuck-ass advice like that?
How many drinks are they in the interview?
I don't know. I don't fucking know. Perry gives the example of when Flo was little and she decided to not bother taking her to extracurricular activities. I could not be asked. Instead, she would give Flo's friends a tea party at home, which was a lot easier for me.
Wow. She's so fucking close. So close to the point.
Philippa, I wish that I could have your actual email address and all I would send, I wouldn't type a word except for the title. The subject of the email would say, please, for the love of all that is holy and unholy, read this. And I would love to send you a publication, a current publication from 2022 from the Autistic Girls Network about how girls and women and femme-presenting folks and AFAB folks at large, and it's not even specifically us. There are tons of men who are autistic and fell through the cracks. It's about a 39-page publication. It's available in my link tree. I don't know. There's a lot of these things I'm noticing about you that are definitely present in that publication. Definitely present in my own life. This is like spooning 101. Spoon theory 101. Like, I don't have the spoons to leave my house and do what has to be done in the world, but I do have the spoons to stay at home, and we can do whatever the fuck we want at home. Nice and quiet, controlled environment, my own home, I'm comfortable. The math is mathing, Philippa. The math is mathing, girl. Okay, I chose guilt rather than resentment that time. I have no regrets about it whatsoever. It was a brilliant decision. Of course it is, because honoring your needs as an autistic person is always a good decision. But it's a social contagion, isn't it? I can see why Perry is someone to whom people go for advice.
You can? I haven't seen it yet.
I'm in pain. She thinks in the equivalent of bright colors. When I leave her, life is full of far more shades of gray.
What?
She thinks in the equivalent of bright colors. When I leave her, Life is full of far more shades of gray.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Are there any ways in which an hour with a journalist is like therapy? No, she says firmly. Sorry. Oh my God. If she wasn't such an ableist cunt, that last line, goddammit, tongue, would go so much harder. But knowing what we know. I'm so sorry I subjected y'all to this. And by y'all, I'm including myself.
The ever-encompassing y'all.
You know, like when you cough a lot and then your throat gets inflamed? That's how my brain feels right now. My brain feels inflamed by being subjected to such gross recklessness and lateral ableism in a huge fucking publication like this. Damn, bitch. Between Philippa Perry and Judy Singer, no one else needs to speak for anybody. Judy Singer is the Philippa Perry of autism. Google her.
Or don't if you want to.
And I apologize in advance. I can't do this. I can't do this.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Wish I knew, Pickle. Wish I fucking knew. I need to move the blurb. Let's do it like here. Let's see what that looks like.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Damn it. I tried to point it to the right side. It doesn't matter. I was like, yeah, this stream isn't going to be a long one in my head. 3 hours. I'm done.
I am a mess.
There's so much more that I have already said about this, like in my head and to Pidge and online in the past few days. But for some reason, whatever came out tonight is what I was thinking of in this moment. And in true potatum fashion, there will be 15 other things that pop into my head within the next 24 hours that I'll be like, damn, I wish I'd fucking said that. One of them from several streams ago I want to clear up right now, and then we'll call it a night. This is ending on a funny note. When I told you the story a couple streams back, in the presentation of things that need to leave me alone, available on YouTube, one of them was my neighbors, who was walking their dog on leash in my yard, trespassing daily for the span of about a week and a half. And the first time I confronted her, I couldn't remember the actual, like, word-for-word interaction in the moment, but I remembered it later. So I asked her what she was doing in my yard, and previously I thought that I misremembered that she had said, I'm walking the dog. That would have actually made sense, right? That's not what she said. She said, I'm picking up poop. So I asked her again, what are you doing in my yard? Exact same inflection. I'm picking up poop. And I said, this is the third time in a week I've seen you trespassing in my yard, and it stops now. I forgot to say that, but that is what I said to her. That this isn't the first time I saw her, it was the third time. And that one's been spacing out on me during every stream, and I know it was a few streams ago, damn it, but I'm picking up poop is so much funnier and so much literally the fucking truth. I'm picking up poop.
Picking up poop.
All right, Belinda, why's the poop in my yard? I gotta be done. I'm too spicy for even myself. I can't stand myself right now. I gotta go. Listen. I don't know what else to say about this ableist bitch, right? That I haven't already said. I feel like the language that I used tonight is a lot more accurate on how I feel and not unintentionally ableist, the way that I was unintentionally ableist online when I referred to her viewpoint as myopic. What I should have said was fucking ignorant. ableist, antiquated, white, incomplete. That sounds better. Intransigent. B-I-N-G-O. B-I-N-G-O. And arrogant, of course. Oh, man. Y'all, thank you so much for being here tonight. Today, tonight, tomorrow, to who? To who? To whomst?
To whomst?
Whenever you're watching this. Lurkers, listeners, now and later. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for all the new friends that have come in and followed recently. All the subby wubbies who woos. Everybody in chat. I love reading the conversations. I do sit through and read everything y'all fucking say. So just because I don't address it in the moment, it's simply because I didn't see it. And I always read it, and it makes me laugh, it makes me cry, it shocks me, it pisses me off for you when y'all share the bullshit you've been through. I'm so glad we fostered a space where it's safe. You all feel safe to do this. You feel empowered to do this. Speckles! Thank you! Thank you so much. And now, look. No, fuck me. No. Look, that you. Thank you, friend. Every single person that's here. Thank you so much. I'll be back on Saturday. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. We'll see. We'll see what fresh hell, what fresh fucking can of worms Pandora's box opens up for me between now and Saturday. But I'm still working on my merch, moving it over to Fourth Wall, getting there. I have over 100 items on there, and I haven't even cracked a dent in my designs. I have about 10 collections on there, which is 10 designs, but I have like fucking 50 designs, and I'm putting them all on there, so it's going to be a while, but it's going to be worth it. So yeah, go to potatum.com, number 8, www. I don't know why you have to have the www for it to work, but pretend like it's the aughts. You know, enjoy typing the www. Follow me on all these things, at potatum with the number 8. One quick also bit of news before I go. Today I was DM'd by the featured writer of iNewspaper in the UK, and she wants me to provide a statement talking about how I am child-free by choice. I have no idea how she found me. Maybe she's writing a piece about people who are child-free by choice. She said in a very nuanced, non-judgmental way, only talking to child-free by choice people. And she must have searched it in Twitter, and I've talked about it on Twitter before, and she found me. But I'm going to be featured in a fucking publication in iNewspaper soon. So that's cool. Won't be telling my parents about that because low-key I feel like they had me so that I could have grandbabies, and no heart emoji. No. I could just send no heart emoji to the journalist, but I'm not going to do that, of course. But that's how I fucking feel. I just have to gather the spoons and the words I want to say, but I'm excited for that to come out. Thank you. I hope it goes well too. Thanks, y'all. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna go now. I'll be back Saturday. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful time zone wherever thou may art, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.